Frozen.
I
Ross is frozen in the
thought he was
abyss.
just incredibly focused.
Incredibly
Just
focused.
incredibly focused.
I mean, just look at that blue baby skin and that distorted lens.
It's
The
really
eyebrows
pixelated
really
skin. It
pop.
looks like.
It's just hang on, I gotta do this. No, it was live.
That was
we
live.
got to stop it. We got to stop it.
Ross
We
can't
got
do
it.
this. I specifically requested this week's intro for Ross, so he's got to be able to do this. Because I don't have an Apple.
His internet's gonna fuck it all up.
Language,
Travis.
We are willing to wait as long as it takes for Mr. Ross to get back with us. Hello, everybody. As usual, we are doing our pre-show, running just a little bit behind, but we are getting our shit together, and everybody is on their way.
We're actually doing kind of good. We're only 15 minutes past where we should have been. We're good.
Yeah, we're an hour early, which we wind up starting at our normal time, so it's okay to have goals. First son's having issues getting her video done, and now Ross is having his poor internet. We need to source that guy a freaking Ethernet cable. My God, or some mesh routing, something just to help him with his internet service. That poor guy. But yeah,
Yeah, but
what?
I got the Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch notification. We are live.
Yay. I am glad because, I had all that stuff set and I waited till today to set it. But.
Hey, my big brother Dave is in the chat. Hi, Dave.
Hello, David.
No one asked, Raina.
Oh, Greg, I'm so ready to just kick your ass this time.
You know what? You had your little rant last time about how Kylo Ren is a bitch, this and that. Like, I would have demolished you, but I had to be nice. I had to be chivalrous.
Really? Says the Grogu loving son of a bitch.
Yes.
That's the Orville loving son of a bitch.
This is why I need Sean, because I need to call a Grogu lover. Carlos is back.
I'm back.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry, Greg. I'm sure Disney loves your wallet.
I don't think
sure they do. Sure they love your wallet.
Hello, David.
Variant is here. And you missed the classic Stop It.
Oh, man.
You know what? Greg, you know what? You are definitely a variant because you would never step to me like this normally.
Well, Greg is busting someone else's home.
He's calling you out, bro.
I have no
I have liquid courage, that's why.
Know your place. There's only one Pokemon Master, and it'll never be you.
Not Ash Ketchum.
Mercy.
Yowzas!
Them great words, man.
In Pokemon Go, I am a god amongst insects.
You're such a freaking casual. Pokemon Go, you
such
casual.
Do you even play Pokemon Go?
No, because I play quality games.
Pokemon Go is Pokemon slow. I laughed at people so hard when that game first came out. I was sitting there at my work watching.
It was everyone's favorite game for the first 2 weeks.
I was sitting at my job and I'm sitting in the back on my break and I'm watching people pull up and park for miles just to get access to a battle arena. And this shit went on for 2 fucking weeks. I'm like, what the fuck are you people doing? It's a game.
Know what?
Find a way to bypass it.
You know what? To extend an olive branch here, though, I was glad to see Pokemon Fever kicking up again for once in a very, very long time.
Pokemon Go is great.
Like the 90s.
Coming from the guy who spoofs, shut up. You don't even leave your house when you play.
I do leave my house to play. But yes, I am a dirty spoofer.
You dirty spoofer.
Carlos, bring the band hammer down. Do it.
I have more of a fan mallet.
Carlos doesn't ban, he
Apologies
communicates.
for getting it wrong.
Carl doesn't ban, he communicates.
You know,
Holy
Raina,
crap.
That's what I tried.
Raina, I
Carlos
got
is he
actually.
who remains.
And then you know, Carlos is like that relative that when he gets mad at you, you feel really, really bad.
Why do I feel like if there really is a multiverse, Carlos is the exact same in all of them?
Except in the mirror universe, I'm
He
the
is.
exact same except with a goatee.
And you're straight.
That's evil. That's evil, Carlos. It's the one where he has
There's
facial hair.
actually an evil Carlos Facebook account.
There is, and there's a Twitter too.
Oh,
I didn't know there was a Twitter. I don't think that there is a Twitter anymore.
I know which one is the evil Greg. Oh, do you play Pokemon, Greg? No, I play Digimon. That's the variant.
You know what's funny?
No,
I think he
Raina,
basically
I've been-
just said you need to be pruned, Greg.
Oh,
I,
hello, Trey.
Raina, I actually got permanently banned. I got caught cheating in the game and I lost my account permanently. But
Game now?
Well, that deserves you
Pokemon
right. That serves you right. Cheater.
no, this story gets better. So I got caught and I lost my account permanently. They said, dude, you violated TOS, you lost your account. I got my account back thanks to Apple. Apple forced all iOS devices to upgrade to iOS 12 at the time. When that happened, that update forced the Niantic servers and automatically triggered a permanent ban across thousands of legitimate accounts. So when that happened, all these players were like, I never cheated, this, that, and Niantic's like, shit. They fucked up because Apple and them fucked up. So what happened is they had to release in that 3-week period, release all accounts. I was in that 3-week period, so I got my account back.
That's great.
Apple's like, don't make me hurt you. Give the accounts back.
They will too.
Apple, yeah, Apple will kick their ass.
You have to get yelled at, Leah. I have no idea if this is an
Hi,
insult
Leah.
or something.
Oh, I never yell at her. I yell at Greg instead. He's the fun one to yell at.
Leia's my girlfriend.
Yeah,
Yes.
Leia is too sweet and innocent for this world. You though? I
Oh,
can beat you up
whoa,
this
okay,
whole
whoa,
time.
time out. Whoa. Sweet and innocent? I think you mean sweet or innocent. She plays both. She doesn't, she's
See, she plays the clever game then. She's the Sylvie of your relationship.
she wishes.
That means you're right.
And this is the moment of the podcast that a fight had broke out in the background.
This is why we don't do the podcasts in real life, because someone
Cut the
would get
feed.
hurt.
Cut the feed.
Okay, look, Raina, you called. This is why I'm in somebody else's house because I can't do with her.
Oh man, I just pictured just daggers flying.
Oh
through the air.
no!
What?
did
No.
Well, Greg, it was nice knowing you.
Bye. Have a great time.
I thought that oh no was like raw. So what's up?
Heard
with
that
Raw?
made him Ross.
Sit, Boo, sit. Good dog.
Ross is probably screaming at his modem, shaking it violently right now, trying to make
Welcome
it work.
to another episode of the Super Geeks. I'm your new host.
No, guys,
Hey, no, this is perfect. Don't boo. I've seen what you cheer for.
He cheers
You are made of stupid.
no, you know what actually happened? Ross's internet finally worked. He got pruned. He stepped away from the timeline.
Silence, everybody.
His
Bye,
internet
Ross.
was bad, so the sake for everyone else's internet to be good.
It's a good thing we didn't do this yesterday because our internet was out for like 16 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it was crazy. It came back at about, 1 a.m.
Well, Ross did have those 2 tornado warnings. What, yesterday, the day before?
Yeah.
I am hoping that Texas doesn't do that to me.
I came back through Dallas. It's like a 3-hour drive to Dallas, and we were coming back, and it was just like Noah's Ark outside.
Like, I love driving through like rain and downpours and everything, but like if it starts throwing grapefruits at me, like that's.
We've only had major hail here one time, and luckily it was the one time that my vehicle was actually in the shop getting something fixed on its warranty. So I like completely lucked out. Like it smashed out like my neighbor's windows and everything. It was pretty bad.
2017.
Texas is weird. We don't have seasons.
Ross.
It's whatever it wants to be.
I know he's from Iowa, but Iowa Rage doesn't really, work here.
Oh, it'll be okay, Ross. We can wait for you. We're waiting on Sun. We're just doing our normal. Ross, it's okay.
Oh, there we go. There you go.
Ross has become one with the Force again.
Look at that face. That's what's
I'm
not.
okay. Okay.
Is that why there's 3 holes in the background?
Okay. Well, see, that's why he's got the holes covered up because
Hi guys. Hi everybody on Facebook. Hey Dia on Twitch.
Hello.
I just show your Twitch links, don't I? I gotta share them to my friends on Discord and stuff. Discord. Is this your curd?
What type of tea are you drinking, Travis?
Headache tea. That's all it is. Like, it's just.
So alcohol?
No, I don't.
Long Island?
I can't drink. I told you that. Like, I'm on bro. I don't really joke about drinking. Whether it's funky everywhere, yes it is.
So yeah, reset my router, checked on the little guy, changed his butt, good to go.
All right. Well, you okay? The Super Geeks, let's rock and roll this boat. You got your thing.
Hold
on.
Let me finish sharing these links.
All right. I got. Well,
I should probably do the same.
Yeah. Can someone share the Super Geeks post on the page to the group? If it's not done already, it should have auto done it, but I'm working on.
I don't need to share it anywhere because me and Travis are part of all the same circles, so he's doing it for me.
As long as it gets shared in the main group.
Why is that song in my head?
Because we put it there. Travis, it could be worse. We could put Baby Shark in your head.
Oh, please.
No, thank you.
No.
It's already there.
Actually, that song, like, as much as an earworm as it is, it doesn't really get into my head as easy. And even when it does, I don't really mind it. I don't know why.
Or there is Bird's Word.
I'd rather be
There's
Bird.
Baby Shark, there's Baby T-Rex, there's the video game mix of Baby Shark, there's the Halloween mix of Baby Shark.
Ross,
Everybody wants to prune me this week. No.
Ross, how old is your little one?
3 years old.
Luckily, my son is attracted to Pokemon, so if we play Pokemon, he's going for that. He doesn't do this Baby Shark crap.
Then there's the Baby Shark mashup with Sandstorm.
No!
Baby Shark, do.
No!
Do.
Check your Twitch, Ross.
Do.
Oh my god.
You know what? Like, you guys can try, but the only thing that's either going to get stuck in my head is the song that's currently in my head, which is that Float On song. But then again, it's probably going to get replaced by something from Alanis Morissette because she has been just bombarding my head.
Also, she's Canadian.
Oh, really?
Oh, really, eh?
Quit playing with your dinghy.
I mean,
Actually, no. It's actually funny with the whole Alanis thing. When Travis was going through his breakup stuff, I'm like, listen to Alanis. Let her be. Let her be angry for you.
Music though is Alanis more.
Dude,
it's a great album.
It's the definitive breakup album. Shut your mouth, Greg.
I said it's
your heart out.
Music.
It's a great album.
Ross, did you do your posture check?
I'm sharing stuff around so I don't have the Twitch up.
Eternity later.
Well, I don't see it isn't
one eternity later.
I have to be live on Twitch for those things to go up. And we're not live on Twitch, Justin.
Yeah, we should be.
Yeah, we should be. I got the notification.
Yeah,
I'm watching us on Twitch. That's how I redeemed it.
Is it his Twitch?
Let's see if it worked.
I can tell you if it's live on mine.
Okay, yes. Okay, posturing. There we go.
Yeah, remember, I have the power to go on Ross's Twitch whenever I click go live.
It's definitely,
Hurry up, son.
Rummy! Rummy!
It's Remy! Rams!
Oh, Ross, so you missed my little story earlier.
I swear we're okay, people. I swear.
I went to a Del Taco, and when I was there, I had a Gimme More and everybody playing. So everybody was there was a family leaving Del Tacos that was happening, and the staff. Like, I offer no apologies for having them here. It's Brittany, bitch.
All right.
Oh.
Quick question: How close are we to showtime?
With about 2.5 seconds. Why? What do you need to do?
Well, I just want to I'll probably go and do. If we're about to go live, I'll wait until you guys start geeking out over Loki. But I need to. I'll probably need to get another cup of tea here.
Go get you a cup of tea.
Well, I'll be right back, everybody.
Travis
You got to be here for Ross's intro. That's why.
Travis making tea is his most glorious purpose.
Plus, we get to charm the audience with our wonderful candor as we get really wound up for the show. And now that Ross is, actually able to be here, we really need to source Ross to internet routers or internet Ethernet cable.
I think it was Ross who shared the meme, but I'm not 100% sure. But I want you guys to know that I had spit up coffee all over myself to whoever posted Miss Minutes meme earlier in the week.
Oh, that was me.
Mess with the clock, hit the clock. I started laughing. I pulled up the chat and lost it. It just was gone.
Well, that's why I posted my Loki one of the Loki in the pool. I was like, it was Loki all along.
I need to share the thing with you guys that someone's already getting a Miss Minutes tattoo.
For fuck's sakes.
Y'all.
It's Ross, everybody.
No. No. If I ever decide to get a tattoo, it will not be Miss Minutes.
Oh, this one has become my biggest regret.
The anti-possession spell?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I love Supernatural, but I'm in Texas, so everybody thinks I worship Satan because it's on my arm.
This one right here, nobody gets this one. I'm just like, I hate you people.
So big.
Yeah,
I can't see.
I got my
wife
has. Oh, is
my
that the
wife
Mason
has one on her
thing?
calf.
No, it's
And she
Legend
gets
of
the
Zelda
same problem.
Triforce.
Oh,
Yeah, I got Wolf Link on my other arm.
There we go.
I got nothing.
She's also got the Death Eater's mark on her forearm.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I think my next
What
one
she got was the 4 factions from Insurgent on her side. When they started working around her ribs, she had some very creative profanity.
I can imagine.
Lane, what tattoos do you have?
Lane don't need no tattoos.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
He just gave me an eye roll.
He has a tattoo on his butt, and it's the tag that he was born with.
She gets a few. We're in Iowa, so she gets a few weird looks for the anti-possession spell occasionally too. She also got called a terrorist for wearing a scarf around her head during the winter.
God damn it.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, sorry, Allah, damn it.
I want to get an Eevee. That's my next goal. I want to get an Eevee.
That's Leia's. She wants to get a Gengar holding an Eevee. It's her favorite one she wants to get.
My God, me and her need to meet. We could be best as buddies. I'm saying. Forget Greg. Put her on the show.
Greg is apparently your nemesis, but Leah gets to be.
No, we're joking. Nemesis is like this whole thing about Loki that we're going to be on opposite sides of the fence tonight.
Okay, I think Carlos is going to be siding with you because Carlos is pretty disappointed.
Well, because Carlos has good taste.
Carlos, the only thing Carlos has taste for is buffet that's running a special.
You know what? I have not been able to go to a buffet at all since everything started opening again.
Hey,
We don't have that many. We don't have that many around Seattle. You have to go to the suburbs.
Did you see the food theory video I posted in the group the other day, Carlos?
No, I didn't see that one.
It was the subject was maximizing your value at the buffet.
Oh yeah,
my God! I'm gonna look that up.
Long story short, avoid carbs,
Yeah.
discard social pressures, and beware psychological manipulation.
Yeah. Okay. I'm okay with this second two, but I love their mashed potatoes and gravy, and I know that
you wouldn't if you
all it
knew
does
how
is
to
fill
get
me
out.
up, but I love it so.
Jesus.
Save it for last, then.
No, I can't.
Ross, the rules of that. The way Ross just explained that, the rules of the buffet, it sounded like avoiding loot boxes.
Hey, anything and everything that someone is trying to sell to you is psychological manipulation.
Peer pressure.
Like
I mean,
space
that's
lasers
one of the things the video went into. When you're at one of those higher end buffets, like in Vegas, there's someone at a carving station carving meat for you. That's not for the premier experience. That's a manipulation tactic.
Newsflash:
Going up to the same person, you start feeling a little guilty. You're thinking, "Is this guy judging me because I'm coming up for my fifth slice?"
But
I have no problem
meat
with
that they're
that.
slicing
And
is
you're
probably
good.
not the same quality of meat that's on the table. They are, they get the cheapest cut so they can make it look good.
Sometimes
draw you to it.
I get the steak and the roast beef and the ham at the same time. I'm shameless.
And this is why there are fat jokes, Carlos. Where's
No,
David at? Where's David O'Neill? David.
Where is David O'Neill? You bitch.
I saw this thing where they were talking about on this. I told you guys about that great documentary on Netflix, right? The high score one, which is all about the history of gaming.
Mhm.
And they were talking about that was the tactic they used to get people back in arcades in the day. They would put all the shitty games right next to the door, so you would have to go further into the good stuff.
Yeah.
And by the time you were already in there, you would play. It was something small, but it worked. Like
They still do that to this day. It's the same
I
thing.
learned
casinos.
so much in that documentary about like all the way from like then to now, like not just the industry and how it works, but like the people that like knew fuck all about games that just became giants in the industry. Like it is such a good documentary. It's in 6 parts, and I'm telling you guys, it is worth a watch. It's on Netflix, the whole thing. I watched it one weekend when there was nothing on, and it is glorious. If you love games, watch it. And they have people from Sega, Nintendo, Konami, just all over from them.
I would love to own an arcade.
It'd be awesome.
Okay, has anyone heard from Sun?
No.
I think we should get going.
If I owned an arcade, I would have an entire wing of battle pods.
You would.
A couple Star Wars ones, a bunch of BattleTech ones.
You know what, Ross?
The Jurassic Park shooter pod.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good. I'm just gonna say, Live Love Play sounds like a great arcade name.
And just an entire wall of lethal enforcers.
And then attached to a restaurant bar that's called Puzzles. And everybody asks, why is it called Puzzles? That's the puzzle.
What are we talking about, Lane, now?
But Lane has a tattoo on his ass, and it's his ticket that he was
tattoo.
born with.
Have you guys
It's his
ever?
ticket he was born with.
Have you guys ever been to the Alamo Draft House?
Yes,
Yes.
I have.
A few times, yeah.
When
One
I
in
was
Austin?
when I was in LA, we went to one to watch Rise of Skywalker, and
poor
I
thing.
loved the bar that was attached to the place because they had board and card games behind the bar that you could
Mhm.
rent while you're waiting for your movie.
Uh-huh.
That was awesome. Played a bunch of Cards Against Humanity. What Do You Meme? Exploding Kittens. There was a unicorn game. Exploding Unicorns? No, something else.
How many
It was
damn
crazy.
animals are exploding?
Exploding
I want-
Kittens is a badass card game.
I wanted to
I
buy
played
What Do You
it.
Mean?
I played it. It's fun.
Do you have the NSFW
SuperGeeks
version
does
though?
not condone the death or explosive any animals named by any games. No animals were harmed in the making of this podcast. PSA.
Are we sure about that?
I actually played
I don't know about Lane. Yeah, we don't know. He's seen some stuff. Just look at those eyes. They just kind of stare off into the distance, into your soul.
Justin going into the whole thing like Monsters Inc. Yeah, look at him over there with the shifty eyes and everything.
Hey, Justin, take that image I just put into the group chat and throw that up on screen.
Oh no!
Why do I have a feeling?
Yes,
I don't?
Travis, I am prepared.
You better be.
STF.
Oh my god!
Brand new adventure.
Oh, that.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
And thank you for the
Alright.
100 bits. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
How does the bits work anyway?
I have no
It's-
idea.
It's like it's kind of like we give to the channel. So like the more bits they get, the better the channel does overall with Twitch.
Bits are like tossing coins into a hat of a street performer.
So
Or
toss
your
your
Witcher.
There,
toss a coin to Witcher.
I like it. Cool. Yeah, because that's
a new
big
react
thug.
for you, Justin.
Is Sun joining us?
She
What's
should
going on,
be.
son? Is she coming?
We're going on.
We need to get started.
Yeah, we're going
Yeah,
on
that's-
30 over almost 45 minutes late.
Yeah, we need to.
I might
Like,
have to cut
start
down
going.
a couple more topics.
What do you mean cut down a couple more topics?
Well, I try to keep us to 8 topics in a show, so that
I mean,
we're
like,
not
I
running
have no-
3-4 hours and everybody loses
Honestly,
interest.
I have no idea what's even on the Trello right now. So
Oh,
It's mostly Star Trek
Travis.
today.
Star Trek.
Yep. We got Lower Deck Season 2 teaser trailer, a bunch of new info about Strange New Worlds and Discovery.
I have the
the-
perfect joke for Lower Decks tonight.
The announcement of a new Star Trek movie project that's independent from what's come before.
Again.
And
Wait,
it looks
another
like
one?
this one might actually happen.
Again?
The Book of Grudge.
I did
Oh
see that.
dear God.
Oh,
They're doing
And
it.
Hydrate. Thank you, Raina.
We're gonna be.
They need now. We need a book of Lane. That's what we need.
Get on it, Justin.
No, I don't have
I got enough projects.
You
under
are
my
not
belt.
allowed to exploit Lane.
Yes, you're not.
I have enough projects under my hands. Thank you.
Nintendo wouldn't want that
Okay,
either.
now I gotta stretch.
Oh, yep. Because here's son.
Son.
That took a lot longer than expected.
Well, shall we, folks?
All right, let's get
I
the
guess
show
so.
on the road.
Let's do this.
All right, let's do
If
it.
someone redeems sing mode for Ross this show,
Please do
Well,
it.
well,
Travis.
you know what, Travis? You could do it if you stop spending all the other points.
what can I say? I like to see him drink.
All right.
You will drive that man to drink.
Well, I mean, if we don't
Fortunately,
do
it's
it, somebody
hydration,
will.
so I'm not gonna pull a
Yeah.
George.
If we don't do it, it might as well be over regular hydration. All
Let's
right,
do
let's get
this.
this puppy started. Yeah, sorry, I didn't update anything. It's been a busy week.
The Loki finale, Bad Batch, and a ton of Star Trek news. All this and more on its mukbang edition of the Real Super Geeks.
The director said, Ross, eat an apple. It'll make you look like even more of an asshole.
That's not true.
Welcome to the Real Super Geeks podcast on this, the 16th of July, 2021. My name is Ross, also known as Live, Love, Play, also known as the Eyebrows of Doom. And welcome to all of my fellow hosts on this wonderful Friday night. Hope you're all having a fantastic weekend, the beginning of the weekend and a fantastic week before. Joining me, as always, our resident boomer, Carlos Pedraza.
Yes, I am. But I'm the ass end of the baby boom.
Clearly, because,
Literally.
Carlos is fat.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm good. I'm excited to talk about Star Trek tonight.
Finally, Star Trek.
He's the man who holds us all together and makes us laugh with cringe every day. It's Justin.
Yes.
Wow. Hello, everybody.
How you doing?
Ready for tonight. It's been a long week, and yeah, definitely ready for some laughter because we've been doing it for the last 30 minutes or so. Well, we are all sorting our various issues. Sorry, folks.
He is the heartthrob of the group and his trusty tea-sipping companion, Lane and Travis. How are you guys doing this week?
Variant.
I'm doing all right. Starting a new job today. Well, kind of new job. Shifting my job position. So doing new things at my current job. And yeah, actually planning a vacation down to Texas and back up to Nebraska for like a week or so.
That's a lot of driving.
It's a lot of driving, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm going to be driving through 3 states that I have never been in before. So,
outstanding.
And what else what are you going to be doing on your vacation?
I'm going to be relaxing and just vibing because I need to vibe and relax and just zone the F out.
No Super Geek meetups along the way there.
I mean,
I'm right here.
I'm right here too.
Hi, Carlos.
You're like way out west. The
Not for
closest
long. I have a surprise for you, Travis and Lane.
Oh no.
He's moving close to be
Is it
closer to
surprise
Lane.
butt sticks?
No, I'm not moving, but you may recall that I went to high school in. Thank you, Justin. I went to high school in Denver, and I will be there in September for my 40th high school reunion.
Uh-oh,
So
Lane.
I'm going to
Uh-oh,
see
Lane.
Lane. I'm tracking him
Lane.
down. And you too, Travis.
Travis, you just have to
See,
drop
that's
Lane
just-
off and let them have some alone time.
The phrasing there, Carlos. You really are just stalking Lane at this point, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
Track him
obvious.
down? Really?
Good night, everybody.
All right.
No, Lane, come back. Sorry.
Her mother is the queen of all predictions, and that makes her our princess. Raina, how you doing this week?
I am wonderful this week. It is so zen compared to last week. I have done nothing, and it's everything I thought it could be. No, I have packed for my dorm this week, so the only thing you see behind me is the things on the wall that I've left purely for the podcast. So it's not like completely blank in the background, but everything is boxed up. I'm ready for this trip. Ready to zen out before I head back to college for another god awful semester. So, but hey, I'm getting somewhere. I'm becoming a productive member of society. So
outstanding.
Yep. Oh, and also, yes, my mom would come, but she was like, "Oh shit, that's tonight." She just sent me that text like 20 minutes ago.
This was a Nexus event.
On a more serious note, I am like I'm very happy that Raina has had some of the like things that have gone on this week happen to her. Like seriously, like I don't know how much she has said, but like really happy for you, Ray. And yeah, here's how like to the future and shit.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. He is the king of Pokemon card packs. And I'm not going to insult him this week. Greg, how you doing?
Well, thank you, Ross. I'm doing pretty good. If my background looks different, it's because I'm not stealing or invading someone else's home. I am house sitting for one of my best friends. He's on his way to Poland. So I said I would house sit for him and take care of his pets.
Right, house sitting.
So you got busted into someone's house
in Florida. And it's a bucket of hot wings is in there in the oven cooking.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure your friend will arrive about the time the podcast ends and not expect you to be here, just like Florida Man.
And like next week, Greg will be the main star of Florida Man.
Florida Man.
I love when you do that.
Yep. I'm looking forward to today's show to talk about all of our favorite show, the Orville. Stay tuned.
Oh,
you mean discount TNG?
So wait a minute. There's Orville news this week?
You are made of stupid.
Yes, son. There's a little bit of Orville news. They just finished.
Finally finished filming after 4 years.
It hasn't been 4 years.
I will have plenty to say when we get there. Let's get
let's get there.
Yes.
We need to introduce Sun, and we need to figure out where the heck she is.
Where are you, son?
Now that we've all now we go to our favorite dummy mommy fish mommy. Kind of double the mommy there.
Wow.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Well, at least she's out of safe range.
Dia will confirm.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. I am the queen of dad jokes, so that makes me your daddy's mommy. So
we're down to know, son.
I feel a baseball still coming on here.
Where are you this week?
So this week I'm
wait for
I've got a thing I want to show you all. You know, it's Bring Your Friends to Work Day, and I'm really excited to show you where I work. So, here at the Department of Truth and Integrity, it is our job to make sure everything is viewed by United States citizens as diverse and inclusive. That means some content may be censored or removed for your own safety and well-being. Here at the Gaming Division of the Department of Truth and Integrity, I am part of a team of people responsible for watching Twitch streams to ensure the same thing of video games. You'll notice the logo in the upper corner. That's simply to protect the privacy of the citizen being reviewed. After a complete review, VODs can be released for such streamers to post with the privacy filters removed. Together, we'll ensure that all races, sexes, and all LGBTQIA+, up, down, left, right, star, A, B, persons are fairly and equally treated.
Yay!
Hey.
All right.
I am lost.
Sana is now our commissar,
What's that?
Kirk.
political officer.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Well done, Justin.
That was great.
All right, and well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your introductions. It's great to have you here once again. And before we get into our shows, let's get the final bit of intro out of the way. Wherever you are watching, be it Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, be sure to like this video, this stream, share it out everywhere, and comment so that we get in the good graces of all the algorithms. And here we go, Travis.
Travis, if you
Every
want
bit
to
of interaction
sing
helps.
later.
It gets us out. The more eyes that see us, the better we make the show, and the more love that we spread. So spread that love.
Cheers.
All right. We got a lot to cover this week, so let's get into it. Number one. Number one. Loki. The finale. The moment we've all been waiting for. And for those of us who haven't been looking into the... Justin.
Spoilers. But give me a second before you go in.
You're supposed to have this thing
You're
ready.
supposed to have it ready.
Come on,
I
Justin.
had
the
it
man
ready.
at the window.
You are talking.
All right. All right. For those of you who haven't been keeping up with the theory crafting, and those of you that have, well, we now know who the man behind the curtain was, the man at the end. And we know why everything has been happening, more or less. One individual. No, not Gator Loki. He was in it for one episode, and that was it. He's not the new Grogu.
Yes, he is.
Okay, there you go. There you go. That's timing, Justin. Good timing.
That's 2 in a row, Justin. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, you're good. You're getting good. Loki and Sylvie push through the void and end up at the Citadel at the end of time. They are greeted by Miss Minutes, who gives them an offer that they reject, and they meet the man at the end, scarfing down an apple. Hence the gag today, if you got it. Thank you, Greg, for that suggestion. That was a good one.
Yes, Greg, you get your one.
He lays everything out that he was once a scientist that discovered the means to travel between universes. And for the most part, there was peace until he encountered the not so peaceful ones, the mirror universe, the darker universes, the other multiverses filled with hate and discontent and bad language. And there was war.
Well, and
Until
to be
one of
more
them
specific, these were all different versions of him.
Yes.
There's a word for that. It's called variance.
Yes, there were many variants of him. Some were nice, some were not so nice. And the not nice ones wanted to take the nice things from the nice ones. And it didn't work out very well. Eventually, the one that remained found the ghost, the cloud dog, and scarfed up all the other universes in order to preserve a single universe to maintain peace throughout the multiverse, the sacred timeline. But he's tired. He wants to relax and retire. So he's orchestrated Loki and Sylvie's rise and arrival up to a point when he didn't know what was going to happen, and he gave them the choice. Kill him. Release the multiverse and let war and chaos engulf all of creation once again, or return to the TVA and take over. Loki wants to return and take over. Sylvie wants to continue her mission. They fight.
I.e. killing him.
Yes. They fight. She sends Loki back to the TVA and stabs the man at the end in the heart. His final words, "I'll see you soon." Loki returns to see chaos and goes to find Mobius, only for Mobius not to recognize him. And he looks over to see the man at the end statue standing prominently where what did they call them again? I was about to say Time Lords, but that's not right.
Timekeepers.
The Timekeepers once stood. There is now a variance of the TVA. Many possible variants of the TVA out there. Will he find his Mobius again? What is Sylvie still doing at the end of time? We don't know. That's a story for season 2,
which we are getting.
All right, Travis. I believe you said you had some things to say.
At least one thing.
It stinks. What the fuck? I told you it'd be short and sweet. Like, look, in terms of Loki, like I finally, watched the last 2 episodes yesterday. I've said before on the show that like Loki has never really grasped me, but like I thought episode 5 was actually kind of cool, and I'm kind of sorry I wasn't around last week to talk about it with you guys. But I mean, when it came to this finale, it was so underwhelming. It was like, this is a classic case of far too much telling, not nearly enough showing. I did not care.
You mean the little statuettes that he created? They weren't enough for you?
No, they weren't. Like I was not invested at all while he was talking. Like I was trying. But I just did not give a rat's ass about this guy. I don't even remember his name.
He didn't give his name.
But we know he has a name.
He was only referred to as the man at the end.
You're right. He did say he has he's had a lot of names, so I get it. Like it's still one of those things where it's just like there needs to be more. Like I know what they're trying to do, but they are not executing it properly. They just didn't. This was so much exposition. It felt like just backstory for why things were, and it just was boring.
It worked.
Like this was the MCU. This is the MCU. This like I'm not asking for like flashy action and whatnot, but I mean I need something to just keep like show us the history. Show us him meeting
half the episode was them sitting at a desk in an office.
Like this is my problem with things like Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
Just show us what you're talking about. Show us the war. Show us. Don't just talk about it. Even the fight was underwhelming. I don't care that we're getting a season 2. I'm just so not into this. I am not into Loki. And I want it to be.
This has been rants by Travis.
So every time Travis said Loki, put Lower Decks there. That's how I feel.
Oh, shut the hell up.
That is completely untrue.
That's like
he's not wrong.
Blow, even for you.
He's not wrong.
He's
That's
totally
how
wrong.
I feel. That's how I feel about Lower Decks. But then again, I hate Rick and Morty, so that would make sense.
Well, there you go.
Oh, you said you had something to say about Loki as well.
Wait, there was a post-credit scene because I didn't see one. Was there?
It was
just
Loki will return in season 2.
Yeah,
it was like right at the
it was like
very
a
end.
stamp. It was a stamp.
I don't call that a post-credit scene.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. Greg was like, "Did you watch the post-credit scene? Where?"
It lasted 2 seconds.
Here's what I think they did. I think they filmed an ending, which we'll probably find out later on. They probably filmed an ending, and then they figured that they were going to actually do a season 2, so they had to film a new ending. The MO for the Marvel shows here is late, other than Mandalorian, had been one season.
I don't think that. I don't think that at all.
I don't think so.
It's just such a disappointing finale for me. It just
seemed so underwhelming, though.
Like,
I mean,
if you of the 3 MCU shows we got, really think about how WandaVision ended, how Falcon and the Winter Soldier ended, and you compare it to this. I may have given WandaVision a bit of an thing, but I mean that at least had some fun. That had a fun reveal, as obvious as it was going to be, and it had a fun thing going for it. This just, I mean,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier was epic. I want to see Captain America 4 because of that fucking finale.
Exactly.
I mean, ass about Loki.
Loki would seem like I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I was hoping for more. Honestly, out of this, I was hoping for more. I loved some of.
You wanted. Let's be fair, Justin. You wanted some pretty unrealistic things at.
Well, yes,
finale.
because I wanted it because they were
You
doing.
You wanted a cameo by Doctor Strange and God knows who else.
Yes, because they were doing
that would never happen.
They were doing a good job of being weird up until towards the end, and then they just went.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so you said you had something that you wanted to lead in
with. Carlos, it is time for you to admit that you're bad at predicting the end of shit. Even with George gone.
What did I predict?
You assured Greg that it wouldn't be Kang.
And me.
I have no idea.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I mean, I said I didn't want it to be Kang.
Yeah, me and Carlos both had said like it's probably going to be, but we didn't want it to be.
I thought it was Kang as Mobius, but Mobius is Kang. But
are we going to be taking turns on this topic, or is he jumping?
At this point, it's literally it's a thing of the MCU writers, for whatever the hell phase this is, are so pissed poor that they literally give all the clues necessary for what it's going to be, but it's so blatantly fucking obvious it seems like a red herring.
I wouldn't say it's blatantly obvious. If you're just watching, if you're not familiar with Marvel's past, you have no idea who Kang the Conqueror is. That's much true. Less that the man at the end is Kang. For people who know the comics, who look it up and follow all the theory crafting, it's going to be apparent. But for the average watcher, you have no idea who the man at the end is.
Yeah, I mean, we knew a week ago, I believe, that Kang had been named as the antagonist for Ant-Man 3. So, so clearly he was in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in the mix, I guess.
I really think that wasn't supposed to come out for Ant-Man until after Loki hit it, though. But
it was pretty close, But the real problem here, though, is I don't agree that the writers here have been piss poor. I think largely what we got in this season of Loki was a really good series up until the end, and I think that its tragic flaw was that they bought too much. The writers bought too much into the need for this episode, not to bring something to an end, but to tee up phase 4, whether that's the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, whether, we know Wanda's going to be in it. This is a big deal. Now we know that who the villain is behind all of this. And I believe I said this in our chat this week. Kang ain't no Thanos. So they're going to have to work on this. I don't think it's impossible, and I really think that they can probably pull it out. They usually, but we've seen this before where they short shrift a series, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., in order to preserve the good stuff for the actual movies. And I think that's what happened here. And I'm disappointed because after 2 series that were great on their own merits, this one was almost there, and I would argue was even better than the first 2, or at least as good as Falcon and Winter Soldier. And it just sort of fell apart. I mean, I'm sorry, they spent so much of the episode with 2 Lokis sitting in chairs in front of an office desk. That ain't drama.
Oh, and one kissy scene.
That was barely a kiss. I mean, it was anticlimactic, that part.
And they hyped up that contact between the 2 of them was supposed to create some kind of nexus events, and then it never paid off again. They've touched multiple times, and that kiss should have sent something off.
Yeah.
Raina, you've been waiting patiently. You look like you have something to say.
I got a lot to say on this episode. It was
Let her rip. Let's hear it.
Okay. From the start, I have loved this show, and I was loving it more than Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is impressive because that show is like my Disney Plus bread and butter. That stuff is amazing. I watch that over and over again. When I got here, like everything up to this point, I was like, this is fantastic. It's got to end perfectly. Like, this is a show that I think I hyped myself up because it was so good all the way through. There wasn't a bad moment. So when you have a whole episode that is just total garbage, it's a garbage episode. It lacks any substance at all. I felt like I was going through Mass Effect 3 again. Everything was amazing to the point. You get to the damn end, and it just sours everything up to that point for me. I like the little details. I like the the kintsugi, like with the gold and the golden fixes on the wall and stuff, because it's a big part of Japanese history. I liked all the historical things, a lot of biblical references, the apple, the devil, tempting him along. It was kind of like the devil tempting Sylvie to make that kill. It was a lot of things like that. But he is so fucking annoying. Like I was having the Wesley moment where I was like, oh my God, please tell me this fucking guy drowns at some point. I wanted Sylvie to kill this guy.
Yeah, she did.
I was like, Sylvie, just kill this fucking guy. Like, I don't even care what the consequences. I don't even care what the consequences are. My whole point of this, and I told Travis this before the show, what would have benefited this fucking episode is to do it in 2 parts. Show us the war in part 1 and show us all this history of being explained, and then have the damn fight and the stuff with the TVA in the last part. But they forced it all in this one episode, and it doesn't hold any weight at all. Why do you not want to do this anymore? I'm tired. I don't really care. I'm bored. Blah, 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 blah. And he dances around like a fucking monkey, and it drives me crazy. He's irritating.
You know what the sad thing is? Twilight actually did something like this better than this episode of Loki.
Wow.
Whoa. Yeah.
He damns with faint praise.
Both the book and the movie did this better. Because there's like a point where there's a vampire that can control the perception of things that could be. Like, so she can basically see time, and she creates this reality in which there's like this war between like werewolves and vampires, and it's all a fucking dream in these bad vampires' heads. And it's an amazing twist and reveal, but it shows shit. And you guys are literally talking about they just sat at the desk the whole episode.
Well, and another large problem I have with this is it was funny. After I had watched the show, I was watching comment sections where they were like, he is such a great actor. Like, he nailed this role so much. I'm like, maybe when he plays the other Kangs, this guy was just obnoxious. Like, he's not funny. Every joke in there is dry as shit.
I mean,
like, I've seen
of course.
the 1960s jokes in WandaVision at least made me go like sarcasm. But like this, it was just, I can't believe it. It like made the whole experience bittersweet because it's like they threw everything at you and expected like, oh, they're going to love this just because they loved everything that came before it. Like they should, I would even been happier with a cliffhanger, like a better one where they just cut it halfway if she killed him or not. And just stop there and not said anything. Like, that would have been better for me than sitting this whole episode, getting the kill, and then it's just like, you feel empty. He's no Thanos, and Carlos is right. And I think that this is an actual syndrome of Marvel now. Now that we've had Thanos, every bad guy is going to seem garbage in comparison.
They're going to do
until we see the really scary versions of Kang.
And that's the only thing that I say. I know, like, I give Majors like a lot of hell for this role, but it's like, I'm sure him in other darker versions of Kang is going to be good. He's got a good voice. He's got a good presence about him as an actor. But this was like really beneath him. Like this, like I don't know what they were thinking. Like, it felt like they just told him, all right, go out there, say these lines, and just act like the biggest idiot you've ever been. Like, that's what it feels like. And
maybe that's the idea. Make you underestimate him when we see him next time.
Remember what was said. This is a scientist guy. Everything he does is going to be clinical and precise, and like literally his martini is going to be drier than fucking dry.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I think with a villain, you have to go one of two ways. You have to have a charisma or presence, and I don't care that he's not his ultimate super omega dark form. There should have just been substance to him. There's just he's laughable. He's terrible, and I watched it a second time just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because when I came out of it, I felt like I missed something. Like, I felt like, okay, this doesn't totally make sense. Like, I get what they're going for, but I feel like I'm still missing something. Went back, no. And it's worse the second time I went through. And it's sad because I love the cosmetic details of this episode. A lot of Easter eggs, a lot of references. I love the opening.
Yeah, the opening
where they're going through
fantastic.
The biggest lines in the MCU and like real world statements and everything else. But I have to say, honestly, one of my favorite things was Owen Wilson just becoming like such a snarky bitch as he came through the door. Like, oh, what's up? You remember me? Yeah, I'm back. Wow. This guy. Like, I really love that. And honestly, it was weird because the other thing that I really loved is the one redeeming line in this whole episode was our Loki saying, like, they're offering him the throne to win the Battle of New York, the Infinity Gauntlet, to kill Thanos. He turns all that away for Sylvie. That is some serious character progression.
Yes.
That's its one saving grace, that it's its one big step. And I really, really, really appreciated that line. That was the only thing that I was like,
stabs him properly in the back.
And also, big shout out to the Miss Minutes jump scare, which I just absolutely appreciated so much. But overall, like, I hated this episode. I love the series, but I feel like I'm going in less excited into season 2 now.
Greg, you've been waiting patiently. What's your take?
I didn't get to destroy Raina last week on her Star Wars thing, so I'll destroy her this time. So this was the quintessential season finale that Loki could have, because how Travis and basically saying it was all exposition. That is the point of Loki. Loki is not an action show. It was built on the premise of exposition.
That is ridiculous.
That is absolute bullshit.
That is such a fucking straw man argument.
Calm down. Let him finish.
We do not think this kind of thing when we think of Loki. We think of mischievous, like, knife behind the back. Oh,
I don't know what you think, but I think of Jim Carrey in The Mask. So that's what I think.
Okay. The Mask was inhabited by the spirit of Loki.
Before Greg proceeds, let me say what immediately takes your fucking argument off the table right there. Look at the Falcon and the Winter Soldier ending. Those characters are less than that are not talkative characters at all, and they had the best exposition scene and action in their finale.
Yep.
There's no excuse that Loki could not do this.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. There's no excuse for a well-funded series from a top-notch studio to produce a series like this. And again, I like the series too.
Let's let Greg finish his thoughts.
Okay, go ahead. But exposition, man, one last thing.
Carlos.
Okay, as a screenwriter, I have to tell you, it's like the sin you can commit is exposition, and to have so much of one episode devoted to it, bad move. Go ahead, Greg.
Carlos, are you published with Disney? Because I'm pretty sure they're making more. But anyway, so with Loki, I liked it better. The introduction of He Who Remains was done really well by Majors. And say what you will about him, but this guy is going to end up having to play probably 20 different versions of this character coming up. He got the annoying one out of the way, sure. And like Sun said, he was a scientist, so everything he did was calculated up until that point. That's why exactly in the elevator, I know what's going to happen. That's why Sylvie misses 3 or 4 times with the sword, and he's sitting there giggling like a baby, eating his apple. But then, as soon as it happens, the whole desk thing where they're sitting there, they were being interviewed for taking over. Loki wanted it, Sylvie didn't. That's why they ended up fighting. But I appreciated the exposition in this part of the in the finale because it was never just as Kang. I mean, of course, it's like I was a ruler, a conqueror, a jerk. Jerk was the funny part of that one, which was supposed to be. But it was where Loki should have ended. We got to the point where it's going to be season 2. The fight was kind of I mean, really, Sylvie should have seen it from Loki's standpoint, like, hey, we don't have to kill him. He's going to die anyway to, basically take over. And what's Travis pointing at?
He's poking you.
Sun, where's Sun?
Sun,
your avatar's gone.
No, it's there.
It's just off to the side.
Yeah, it's off to the side. There we go.
Okay.
When you go to 16:9, it shows up.
Nobody mentioned how good Miss Minutes was in her little 5 minutes of the episode. I mean, she sits there like, hey, he has a deal for you guys. You go and live the lives you've always wanted and never be bothered again, or risk it all and go see him. Again, Loki was conflicted. He's like, hey, I wouldn't.
Wait. Does that mean that before the Lokis, he offered this job to Mobius? Is that what happened?
No. I think in answer to your question, Ross, about the Nexus event, the huge Nexus event between Sophie and Loki, this was the reason why. The two of them teaming up was the only way that they were going to get to He Who Remains. Of all the Lokis that have ever been, it's these two coming together as allies that threatened him, and that's why it was such a huge Nexus event. But that's to answer your original question. Go ahead. Are you done, Greg?
No, I was just going to say, so the whole thing with He Who Remains is, of course, it's going to be he's going to go by Kang at some point, and Matrix is either going to come in like another arrogant a-hole, or he's going to come in more tedious, whatever. And I think what happened is when Sylvie, she obviously kills He Who Remains, but then when she sends Loki back, it is before she kills him. So I think she sent him to another TVA. Not the one that Mobius, not the one where Mobius knows, but I think he sent her to a completely different TVA. So it's like, because the minute Mobius sees him, was like, you're an analyst. So clearly Loki is working at this one, apparently, according to Mobius. So it's like, hey, you're an analyst, analyze. And then it kind of stops there. And I agree. Kang is no Thanos. He's going to probably be better than Thanos.
We'll see. We'll see.
We actually agree on that one because one, unlike Thanos, Kang can go and control all the time. He can make it to where you're never even born. He can go back and change events as he wants.
The thing to keep in mind: Kang created the TVA. The TVA, where the Infinity Stones are useless. They're paperweights.
So, and that's where I'm giving Majors the absolute benefit of the doubt that this poor guy, he's going to pop up in Multiverse of Madness. He's going to obviously be an Ant-Man and the Wasp. He's going to have to be in Loki season 2. Majors is going to have to play, like I said, 20 different versions of this one character. And I honestly think it's going to sway Raina, it's going to sway Travis, it's going to sway Carlos. The next time we see Kang, he is going to charm your asses off and then turn around and stab you in the back.
Here's where I'm going to agree.
Before we get into responses, there's one person who hasn't said anything yet. Justin, what are your thoughts on the episode?
Okay, so I love the series up until the last episode. The Kang character, all right, wasn't quite what I was hoping for, expecting, but if we're doing a multiverse thing here, they have a chance to really make something, good because, okay, so what? They do the multiverse thing. People are complaining that he's not the right color that Kang is. Well, that doesn't mean he won't be. I mean, they can do whatever they want in the multiverse. That's why it's called the multiverse. Will they?
it's up to them. But we lose Greg. Oh, okay.
He took off for a minute. He'll be back.
Anyways, but yeah, the ending threw me off. It felt like it was a little bit, I don't know, rushed. If that's the right word for the ending, the way they dragged everything else out, it's like they should have at least done 2-part ending. But I'm happy. It's okay that we got this because we're getting a season 2. If we would have just gotten this without knowing that we're getting a season 2, I would be pissed. But they're making us wait. They're giving us the best of both worlds treatment. They're going to make us wait till season 2, and we're just going to.
Are you comparing this to Best of Both Worlds?
On the Blue Ball factor? Yes.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
No, dude.
Here's the thing. Like, look.
That's one of the best cliffhangers in television history. This does not even approach that.
This wasn't a cliffhanger. This was a lemming.
I'm not saying that, like, I'm not saying that the show couldn't leave us on an unfinished note. Something to lure you back for season 2. That's fine. Like,
yeah.
If they had done it good, fine. But the fact is, this episode just lacked.
It was lacked so many.
Lacked.
I agree with you there.
And that, like, they didn't earn this, like, come back for season 2. Like, even if they did, like, even if season 2 holds promise for, like, a potential, like, for whatever they want to do. The fact is that doesn't really excuse, like, it doesn't excuse this episode's failure.
Well, I really don't know if whenever they filmed this, if they knew they were going to have a season 2.
All right. You got to let me make my retort because I'm losing my mind over here.
Go for it right now.
Cue my Phoenix Wright music in my background, okay? Greg, what a way to swim right into the Grizzlies' mouth. What ifs or
what he does.
Wait for it. What ifs or buts don't matter if the character is shit now. We are reviewing this episode. We're not reviewing next season or what could be. Thanos could return tomorrow and he could be trash. He could be good. It doesn't matter. These characters aren't here now. His presence here was trash. It was garbage. Pure and simple. Multiverse of Madness. The director has confirmed that Kang will not be in the movie. That was something that he will be in Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man movie, which, let's be honest, any villain in the Ant-Man movies, I'm sorry, they've all been garbage, so I can expect him probably to play garbage again. But once again, it's not now, so it don't matter.
And that's, what, 2 or 3 years away?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He's going to be cameos only. That's really all it's going to be until he gets that villain role again. Loki season 2, that's the thing. You could have a good season like this, and we could talk all live long day. But when your last episode physically trashes the rest of the season because of one long expedition dump, this didn't feel like the same show we've been watching. It didn't feel like even WandaVision. You guys know I will clown on WandaVision all live long day. That one still had a better finale.
Yeah, sure did. I totally agree with Raina. The thing is, but here's where I do agree with you, Greg. I do agree with you that there's a lot of possibilities for this character. There's a lot of possibilities with him as an antagonist, and that's great. I think that's a fantastic concept. I just think that the way they handled the end of this series was bad. It was bad.
It was rushed.
It wasn't rushed. If anything, it came to a screeching halt.
Look.
They were sitting in office chairs, dude.
Yes, and then it's all of a sudden everything wraps up.
That isn't rushed. That is just like just running out of gas.
I would actually say I'm with Carlos.
In the last few minutes, it's like, what the fuck just happened?
I'm with Carlos on this one. I think it was the opposite. They put so much time because I love the art direction. I love the little subtle details of the CGI. I love everything. I even like the little subtlety of the timeline splitting in the background while they're talking.
And they're all
put
panicking.
So much emphasis on the details.
Did you notice the marble? The marble had those golden. They were branches.
Yeah. Like they put so much work into the CGI. and this art direction and everything that they let it become an exposition
Let him
episode.
finish, please, Justin.
I don't
cut me off, Carlos.
Oh, I'm sorry, Justin. You go ahead, buddy.
No. Go ahead.
All I was going to say is when you spend so much time in art direction and things like that, that's great. The rest of the show, it looked fantastic. But exposition will ruin any episode, especially a finale. You owe the people who have been through this more than an exposition dump. I'm sorry.
Harder. Justin, go ahead and finish your thought.
There should have been a two-parter. There was way too much unpack.
Can I ask you a question about that, Justin? When you think of this as two parts, how would you split that up?
I would have done like all the whole start of them making a choice, as one part. Where at the end,
you would stretch out the part of the episode that was the slowest.
Well, I would have cut that right at the end. They could have put in more, filled it up with more of Mobius doing whatever. I mean, they could have done something to fill the time up to that point. And then the second part, after they stab back, Loki figures out, all that stuff happens between Sylvie and Loki, and it goes back to TVA and realizes everything's wrong, and it ends on the massive shitstorm that we left it on. But it's just the way they did it. It just felt like it went from being slow, and then they rushed it to hurry up and close up the story.
Well,
I feel like this was deliberate to me.
Yeah.
There was too much that was put into this sequence, as Raina said, with the art direction, with the costumes, with the effects. This was all very deliberate. This wasn't a rushed project by the look of things. You want to look at a rushed project, look at David Lynch's Dune.
No. Well, I mean,
someone shared a picture of the Baron Harkonnen from that movie this week, and I nearly flew into a nerd rage. But
I don't mean it like a rush project as a rush episode. I just mean it as to how the story throughout every other episode we've had this season just moves you quickly from start to finish. What the episode.
I think this can be summed up is that this wasn't a finale. This episode wasn't written to be a season finale. It was written to be a springboard. It was written to be a lead-in to the next season and to Phase 4.
Yeah,
in that regard,
those don't have to be mutually exclusive goals.
Yeah,
you can have a satisfying ending and be a springboard.
But that's the thing. I think in this case they favored it more as a springboard. They favored it as introducing the seeds of what comes at the expense of everything else.
No, I totally agree with you. It was a deliberate choice, but it was a bad choice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we've said just about everything we have. We've come into a few circles at this point. So any final thoughts?
Sorry.
I would like to point out something I think everybody's kind of missed. Honestly, you guys keep saying that you think this was deliberate, and yeah, it was. Do you remember what was explained about all of the variants at the TVA?
That they
every single version of Loki in the TVA was a Loki at the point in their timeline when they were turning a new leaf. Every single.
That's right.
At this point, Kang or whatever the hell his name is, the guy at the end, is doing this literally and deliberately to have a Loki take over.
Mm-hmm.
And just because it's the two, he doesn't know what they're going to do at the end, but he's assuming that the Loki part of them the New Leaf part of them will not kill him, but will take over.
I think you're absolutely right, son.
I honestly, my final thought, I promise this is the last one, guys. I think that when it comes down to it, I think the problem was that we had such a high baseline with how good the show was. That also added to this disappointment a little more, because when you set such a high standard right off the bat, and that standard maintains on a pretty consistent level, when it drops hard. It really did. And it's sad because I see how much love, like in terms of art, costumes, all that stuff, the fine details are there. It was just so poorly executed here.
This is why I agree with Justin. That it could be a two-parter, and I am kind of I have to combat with Carlos here. Yes, you do stretch out the exposition because, like Raina said, you show us as you're giving us the exposition.
Well, as I forget who, I think Raina pointed this out too. Falcon and Winter Soldier proved that you can do exposition without it making the plot come to a grinding halt. Why they didn't do that here, I don't know. Because you can do it, but they didn't.
And it's not complicated.
It's like they were leading into it, but then they decided instead of doing a two-parter episode, they just did a one.
I think.
All right, final.
I think the biggest issue with all of this is that they really, really, really wanted to hit home with the point that this is a person who is like just purely fucking clinical, so it feels like you're in a psychiatrist's office the whole fucking time.
Let's rate the show, everybody.
Okay, final question for the show. One thing that we haven't touched on at all. What is Judge Renslayer up to?
Yes.
Yeah,
Carlos,
exactly.
let's hear what you think.
Okay, so clearly she is a backup plan. She has been prepared for this by Kang himself. He had Miss Minutes give her not the information that she asked for, but the information that he wanted her to have. And she went somewhere with that information. I think that on the off chance that the Lokis refused him and killed him, which is what happened, she is going to be some kind of backup plan for him. So that's my prediction.
Greg, what about you?
She went to find another Kang variant. The second Mobius was like, she's going on about this whole thing about this, and Mobius is like, what, you mean give everybody free will back? That's what she goes, where are you going? To find free will. I think she's going to find another Kang variant, a benevolent one, and be like, hey, this happened. Can you come help us before the other bad ones come in? So I think she's going to go find another Kang.
Raina.
I honestly think that she's going to be the one that's monitoring these events and giving them to each respective Kang. As one falls, they will receive all the information from the other ones. I think that they're going to... We're expecting them to all war with one another, but I expect it to be an alliance of sort. And I think that she is going to be the information broker between these forces, because right now we haven't seen them bridged, but if they are bridging, she's probably a mediator of sorts.
You're totally right, and I think the clue for that was when they discovered where she was pruned and who she was a variant of that teacher. Was it a principal? I thought she was a teacher. Yeah. Either way, someone in charge, someone with information who oversees things. Big clue. I think you're right.
On the Kang's portion,
okay,
did they not have a council of Kangs?
Yes.
So what if she is part of that council as like the secretary?
Well, in the comics, Kang and Renslayer have a relationship. They've often worked with each other.
Yeah. See,
Justin, what are your predictions about Renslayer?
I think that's exactly it. Then she's probably going to be with the Council of Kangs and try to find one to take over the TVA, as considering one that just fell. She was probably the backup plan as was suggested. I think that's a good thing, because without someone in charge of the TVA like Mobius, or not Mobius, like Kang, it's not going to be the same. So, yeah, I think that's a good call.
And Travis.
I think she's just going to the bar to have a fucking drink.
Well, you were really disappointed, weren't you, Travis? You turned to
complete
cynic.
She did drink like a fish in the show.
I'm gonna go. I want to rate this finale and show. Like, I just want to rate it right now. Like,
okay, Son, do you have any thoughts on all this?
So, just hearing what you said about this lady that I have no knowledge of, Is Marvel trying to like just shyly wink and nod at us that this lady is literally the Trunchbull from Matilda?
I don't know.
She's not. No.
She's a variant of a principal from a school.
She's not
a
that
villain, and she drinks like every fucking scene.
Shit.
This one, Rensselaer has a conscience. Matilda's principal did not.
Variant, hello.
All right. Rapid fire rate episode, then or just the series. We all know. I think we've pretty clearly illustrated what our feelings on the episode is. Series as a whole, Travis.
We don't all agree, though, Justin.
5 out of 10.
Reyna?
8.
Justin?
8.
Greg?
Best Marvel series they've had, so I'm going to give it
Bullshit.
All right. Carlos?
It was well on its way to a 9.5 for me, and now it's at a 6.
Son?
I mean, I still haven't seen a single fucking episode. Can I really judge it?
I knew that was coming.
I mean, this is literally me just running off of you guys.
Yeah, no, actually, that's great. I love your insights, son.
I mean, and I'm so glad Greg has dethroned me as the contrarian. Like,
it's awesome.
You're sharing.
That's why we let him stay.
We have one last person we need to hear from, though, Ross. Raina's mom. How did she? How did she weigh in?
Me yet?
Well, I know. I'm assuming you, but
oh man, she just looked at me and we both had the same moment. Oh, for fuck's sake! That was our exact reaction. Like she's like, "This can't be the end. Are you serious?" And she's still very pissed off about it. She made that very clear.
I'm with Raina's mom.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, my rating, 3 out of 4 Mackies.
That's a lot of Mackies.
That's about a 75%.
Here, I'll change my rating real quick.
It's like a 7.5.
10 baby Grogu's. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
I want to talk about Bad Batch, damn it.
Here's the problem with your rating system, Greg.
Of the Loki season finale and the series as a whole.
There we go.
Yeah, let's remember what happened to that guy.
He lost his hand.
I will say before we move on, Greg, GG.
All right, Ross.
Anyway, let's move on to the latest episode of Rebels, the Bad Batch.
Yes, there we go.
And before we go,
yes, throw up the next spoiler warning.
Because, oh boy.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
When we left off last week with the Bad Batch.
This is where I have to check out for a bit because I haven't seen it. So I want to. So I will come back.
Hey, you are made of stupid.
Aren't you glad that I told you to go get that clip, Justin?
Oh, I love you, son. Thank you.
Raina, when do you get a spinner?
I've had this one forever. I very rarely am stressed enough to use it.
Getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
They have matching spinners.
That episode.
Stop it, Ross.
This episode really took it out of Raina, didn't it? Like, completely.
You know, if I pull this one out, like Greg got me to a point that, like, I feel like I won this fight, but I'm exhausted after it.
It's not even. It wasn't even Greg.
Honey, you didn't
win. Episode in the first
bullshit.
Anyway, Ross,
that's gonna get clipped later.
Yes, it is.
When we left off with the Bad Batch, we had traveled to Ryloth, the homeworld of the Twi'leks, where the Imperial garrison was trying to convince the locals to disarm. They were successful thanks to the efforts of General Syndulla, but his cousin was less convinced. He went on a supply run to grab weapons for an underground resistance in case things went bad. He was caught, arrested, and with him was General Syndulla's young daughter, little. Oh crap! I'm forgetting. Hera. Wow, wow! I'm brain farted that one back. How could I possibly forget Hera? Bad, Ross. Bad. Anyway,
You're fired.
You can't fire me.
Yes, I can. Hydrate.
Well, that's not firing. That's compelling.
Hydrate.
Wait, what is this about the compelling? What?
Hold on, Ross.
What?
There.
No, stop playing that.
Well, we lost Ross, so
I'm right here.
Okay.
There we go.
There he is.
They stage a raid on the convoy and rescue their daughter, only to be framed for the attempted murder of the star. We all thought he was killed last week, but he did in fact survive because it's Crosshair. He's
for now.
He's good. He's very good at what he does.
He can wound.
Hera goes on the run, and in this episode, we pick things up with her trying to figure out how to rescue her parents. Hera, being resourceful even as a child, she and Chopper survey the Imperial base to try and find a way in. She calls for help and summons the Bad Batch back to Ryloth, where with their assistance, she is able to rescue her parents, go on a slight misadventure with Omega, hijack a shuttle, and find a way to rescue not only her parents, but many insurgents. They escape and are ready to start a rebellion. And once again, the veil continues to lift off of the intentions of the Imperials as their draconian intentions and methods become more and more apparent.
I love it.
All right. Greg, let's lead in with you. What'd you think of this episode?
I thought it was pretty good. Definitely liked we got more Bad Batch this time. But I absolutely love that Omega had the sense to be like, hey, if you need our help, give us a call. So Hera immediately knew who to turn to. My gush over this episode wasn't so much like how good the story was or anything. It was Crosshair's music at the end. Like, that was some next level dark right there. Like, where Crosshair basically told the Admiral, you screwed up. I'm going to do this now. The Admiral's like, okay. You know, it's like request permission to go after him. So whoever did the music for that little part right there was like, that sent chills, because now you know Crosshair is just absolutely pissed. Another dynamic I loved with the whole episode, they go and do the rescue, was the captain's hesitation the entire time. Raina talked to me earlier about this, about how she thought Order 66 was everything, it's just like meant to the Jedi. But this captain immediately is like, what are we doing? And obviously got arrested, but I was fully expecting Crosshair to shoot him. The second he dropped his gun, it's like, I was like, Crosshair's got to shoot him. I'm like, that's going to be it. But he instead goes, you arrest those men. So it was a very interesting dynamic to just see, like, how you said the veil's getting lifted. So you got these clone troopers now just like turning. So if these like 20 of them there, 10 of them are like, no, we're going to go with our captain. So Crosshair is finally like, we're going to get, I hope this isn't like hype us up too much. I am expecting a massive Crosshair versus Hunter season finale between these two. Like, the season finale should blow us away. So this is a really good episode, and it's just leading more and more into it. I think we have 4 left now, 3 left. So
4. What episode was
this? Was 12.
Yeah, there's 4 more episodes then.
4 more?
So wait,
okay, so then
Lord, that should start.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the next one. This is setting up a really fun, interesting, and dark next 4 episodes.
Justin, let's hear it.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad episode. It felt like it was. I don't know. I just really didn't get into this episode like I have the others. I liked it. I enjoyed the episode. It's just like it was like, okay, come on, hurry up. I love the fight scene with the shuttle. I love the music at the end. That was fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I totally thought we were gonna get a Crosshair Vader moment.
I mean, I was just half expecting it at this point. One thing that kind of confused me is why did he have to get permission to go after the Bad Batch? I thought he already had that permission to go after the Bad Batch to begin with.
Not really.
No.
He hasn't, the Bad Batch is he serves the Empire. He is under their watch. He follows their orders. The Empire has not set I think the Empire is interested in Omega, or at least the Kaminoans are, but I mean, the Empire is far more focused on, securing its iron grip on the galaxy at this point.
If I'm real quick off of Travis's point, the Empire is very clearly focused on what they're doing. When the Bad Batch is there, Crosshair is immediately like, no, you need to do this. The Admiral ignores Crosshair. So, because Crosshair knows they're a threat, the Admiral's like, no, they're not a threat. And that's why the end of the episode happened the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. It's going to be interesting to see. I really hope we do get that rivalry. I hope they do a better job at the season finale of this one than they did for Loki. I know. Well, I mean, I don't have high hopes now after what happened. I mean, it was a very big disappointment, that one.
Come on, what did you expect?
On what? Are we talking about Loki again? We're away from Loki.
No, we're not. I'm Bad Batch. Calm down, Travis. Sip your tea. Sip your tea, Travis.
It's a whole episode where we're sitting in the boardroom and Crosshair's at the end with his feet on the table talking about plans.
Got it.
Raina, what were your thoughts on the episode?
In my top 3, actually. I really like this episode. First of all, great dynamics all the way around. I really kind of like how we now have a reason why they were forced to go to conscription.
Yeah.
At some point, because you can see the clones kind of like, all right, fuck this. No more of this. I don't want to do this anymore. And when they see what's actually being said, you've got a lot of clones that are patient, but you've got a lot that are starting to say, okay, this is all smoke and mirrors. They don't believe in peace at all. It's the exact opposite. I like the dynamic that keeps growing between Omega and Hunter. I like the whole talk about them being her brothers. And not to mention, I just like her almost damn near leadership now in the team. She is making some hardcore plays, and I really like where she was like, you told me you wanted to be a ship captain, so you could do it, so let's do this. And it was just like, she's already starting inspiring speeches. Like, even in the beginning of the episode, the line that kind of made me smile was when Hunter was like, we can't just stop and help anybody and put ourselves on the line like that for just anybody. And she was like, well, isn't that what soldiers do? And it's like a really big line where she's accepting her role in the group. She's accepting that it's a dangerous mission, that there's chances that they won't come back from. And I feel like as a character, she's really grown along this journey.
She's a young Jean-Luc Picard.
She almost said good soldiers follow orders.
She almost did.
And honestly, with Crosshair, that's the one thing I love with Rampart, just kind of like blocking him at every point. It's like, no, you're going to do this. And by the end of it, it's like, I'm going to go get these guys. Okay, I believe you. It's like, it's just Crosshair himself. I just love how he's becoming more menacing. And I really love the little subtlety of Hunter looking out the ship and seeing Crosshair just looking like, oh, you motherfucker, again.
Yeah, exactly.
Again. He got one over on us again. I'm really excited to see them duel it out. I'm very excited. And this episode sets it up well that each mission brings them closer together to combat against one another.
I thought we were going to get a duel this time.
Oh, I thought immediately when he knew they were on the planet. But this whole episode was fantastic. I liked Hera a lot, and I really just felt like it was a really solid episode. I felt engaged the whole time. Nothing really to complain about. Like I said, it's one of my new favorite episodes. I wouldn't say it's the best episode I've seen, but I'd watch it again.
Well, okay. here's a question for you guys. We saw that the clone commander and several in his squad reject orders and reject the mission of the Empire. Now, from the beginning, these guys seem to be slightly more independent. It's almost as if they never received Order 66.
Well, here's the thing.
Or is it the fact that Order 66 is wearing off?
Well, here's the thing.
What do you guys think?
Raina and I actually touched base on this because this was one of our big questions. It was like these clones, they are, very like, how are they resisting Order 66? And we decided to do some digging, actually. We went to the good old Wikipedia. And, well, here's the thing. Order 66 is pretty much bound to Jedi specifically.
Yes.
It is it is encoded for clones to identify Jedi as traitors to the Republic and clones who sympathize with Jedi as traitors to the Republic.
And
it has nothing to do with being bound to the Empire or anything like that.
And remember, these clones were Republic clones.
Just to correct Travis just a little bit, just towards the end though, it is Jedi specific or anyone else that is at risk of basically going against the plan of Order 66. Like basically, remember that you guys remember that episode where Wrecker almost went after Omega.
Yeah.
His programming, it wasn't that he saw her as Jedi or anything like that, but it was going against the Empire. The Empire's orders are not to be questioned. I thought insurgency, because my question was when I started is, these guys are still considered insurgents, so how are they able to ignore the chip? But that's the thing, though, is it really is Jedi targeted specific or anything else that seeks to threaten the control of Order 66.
And see that further.
And that's why he attacked Omega. It wasn't necessarily that she was against it, that it was an Empire-based thing. It was more about her wanting to get the chip removed.
There was a specific line said by the captain. I believe it was by the captain that he goes, "Well, these aren't separatists. Why are we doing this?" That was a key piece of dialogue, also.
Here's why. Because these are Republic clones. They were bred for peace, not for what the Empire's doing.
Well, here's the thing. The Bad Batch are renegades. They're traitors.
Yes.
And Crosshair is going after them because he's been ordered to. Good soldiers follow orders. Order 66 seems to bind the clones to direct orders being given with no leeway. Their independence has been stripped away by everything I've seen so far. The part of the whatever the inhibitor chip does, it limits them. And I've heard them be described as flesh droids. But this captain is openly defiant of orders. There's no good soldiers follow orders with him. There's no good soldiers follow orders with the men that he convinced to lay down their weapons. Right. It wasn't everybody, but it was about half the squad. So so it's either they're resistant to Order 66, they never received it, or it wore off over time.
I'm going to say that none of those are true.
Actually, I'm sorry, go ahead.
One of the things I wanted to talk about in terms when I got to talk about the episode itself is that I wanted to touch base a bit more with what Raina said, and that this is very much a clones versus conscription trooper bit here. The clones, for the most part, are still very much bound to the Republic. A lot of the clones, even at the start of the show, very much, they know that they fought for the Republic. They know that they do follow their orders, but they don't I don't think that Order 66 wipes their memory of what they were fighting for. And this episode does show we came here to fight for these people and to protect them. And this isn't what's going on right now just isn't what we were meant to do. It wasn't what we came here to do. This isn't right. And I'm very certain that if they saw a Jedi in this moment, they would probably see them as a traitor.
Then
But I mean,
why?
again,
Then why is Crosshair so fanatical?
he's not a reg.
No, but he was affected by Order 66.
Yeah,
he is still very much good soldiers follow orders.
Yeah, he almost killed Hunter for lying about it because Hunter let him go and Crosshair almost killed him for it.
Yeah. And I mean, Crosshair is not like other troopers. I mean, that's all I can really say there. There is something going on there. Like, I mean, it's just one of those things that if I have to be the writer here, suspension of disbelief, I guess.
Stretch.
Stretch.
Well, you also
Was it Mongoose that you, Greg?
Yeah.
So you have to. You also have to remember that like Crosshair being fanatical could literally just be fucking Crosshair. I mean, are the clones in the Bad Batch all literally the same personality? Are they?
No.
No.
So Crosshair can literally be his own fanatical self, just believing in his own fucking devotion.
Crosshair was pretty close with Hunter before Order 66, though.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys. I actually, it was driving me crazy, so I actually looked up what the showrunner was talking about with this. Because this is actually not just blowing up here, but it's kind of blowing up everywhere since the episode premiered. Basically, how it's explained is that that there's a difference between directive given and a secondary directive given. And if the clone themselves believe that it is secondary to the main mission at hand, they can choose to ignore it in certain circumstances if they have a mental aptitude to ignore the chip's programming. The reason Crosshair, I believe, is so fanatical, and this is coming from me, is that I think it's just by how many times that they've powered up that chip over and over again, because it seems in the Star Wars lore here that the chips do have a wear-off period, that they do wear down through that order.
Well, I guess it's also worth noting that in the Clone Wars, they actually do touch base here and there with Protocol 66. There's an episode where in one of the troops it goes off prematurely, and it almost exposes the entire thing, actually. And they touch base on how it affects the mind, and like they do a really good job of just really showcasing just what this whole plan entails and what it really does to you. And I mean, there really is I feel like there's a lot of gray area in terms of just the full effect of it if it does have a wear off period. And I mean, I honestly think the show might actually even go further into it, in the next few seasons or in the next few episodes. We might get more. But
in the episode you're referencing, Fives, the clone who was affected, his entire personality was supplanted. Good soldiers follow orders, and he executes a Jedi for it. They do discover.
I don't think that's five. Well,
but you know what? We've seen clones fight this. So if the chip is wearing off, they may start sort of popping through. Because I mean, even look at Rex, how long he held off until Ahsoka could get the fuck out.
Barely.
But I'm saying that was at the chip's activation at its prime moment. So if they're wearing off, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be clones that are kind of flipping sides as they gain their mental aptitude back and abandon. Right. Because apparently there is a shelf life on Wikipedia that these orders did start slipping out in a lot of the books and comics. I mean, a lot of it's legends, but the fact that it's there would signal that maybe that's exactly what's happening. And not to mention, they were saying that this specific captain had a close relationship with his family for a long time.
All right. One thing that just came to mind is that in Rebels, there are 2 other troopers that live with Rex who had their chips removed that we had not seen prior to. So, and it's not exactly explained where they came from. So I guess it is entirely possible that, you know, these 2 soldiers had a wear-off period and just, you know, met up with Rex and they went there, you know, they removed their chips, went their separate, like went and lived on their desert ATT, whatever the hell that thing is. And yeah, I guess like it's a possibility.
So okay, so I have a technical question. How close is the Twi'lek homeworld to the core planets, or is it like closer to the outer rim?
Ryloth is in the outer rim.
Okay, so so Ross, your whole explanation thing in the beginning is literally plausible. Like it literally could be just a ranged thing. Because when Ahsoka and all that shit was going on in Rebels and the thing activated, she was literally in the core. The further you get away from that signal first starting off, it's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker.
I'm not sure that's how it works.
Well, also, as far as I know, there weren't any Jedi on Ryloth. They insisted on liberating the planet themselves. They had the clones to back them up, but it was Syndulla who took charge.
Well, here's the thing. At the very beginning of the series, Tech says that, you know, the entire chat, like the entire command chat or whatever, had just, it went from like, you know, directives and everything to just repeating one simple order, execute order 66. So I don't think there is a clone trooper that didn't hear it. Anyway, I absolutely love this episode. And I'm actually really sad. Like, again, I'm sad I didn't get a chance to talk with you guys last week about last week's episode because, you know, like, confession, I still need to finish Rebels. But, like, I personally really love that show as well. And seeing, like, young Hera, like, and Chopper, I absolutely love Chopper. He's one of my personal favorites.
Everybody loves Chopper.
Like, I love Chopper, and just seeing like a bit of a setup. Like, I know we had a bit of a setup in the pilot episode with Caleb, but like seeing Hera in action here and like seeing the Bad Batch helping her out and giving her like some, like pretty much some, like probably some motivation to keep going with the fight is just awesome.
Hey, Travis, sorry to interrupt, but Twitch notification. We just got 2 simultaneous raids. So thank you, BK VTuber and Nicomatic Chief.
We're big.
Welcome to the podcast.
Say hi.
Glad to have you guys here. All right, Travis, please continue.
Personal, like, I already talked a bit about the whole conscription versus clones aspect, so I won't go further into that. But I will also say that I absolutely loved just like the like freaking. Sorry, I'm stuttering a bit here. The Omega and Hera just mesh so well together. Like seeing them just like seeing Omega just like, oh, please don't shoot our shuttle out of the air. What? Like just before they take off and just blast this, you know, turret to smithereens and, you know, just raise a little hell. Like this was a very fun episode, and I don't know if it's in my top 3 by chance because I mean, like this, like. I have gushed about this show before, and you guys all know how much I love it right now. And just like it's, I'm gonna be sad when this season's over. I really hope we get some more seasons, guys. I really can. I hope. I'm really hoping. Like, please,
please.
One eternity later.
All right.
Hey, Roz. Oh,
yeah.
I was going to say I've been kind of looking this up in the background while you guys were talking, and Reddit has an interesting theory about this whole thing. So everyone's going nuts about this Captain Hauser and how he's doing it. And the thing is, they were saying, what if the chips do have a shelf life? And this episode was the show that no matter what, Crosshair is going to take the Empire's side. It's not a simple matter of removing the chip anymore. It's literally he's sided with the Empire. And that's what it's supposed to show, that the chips are wearing off. They're getting a conscience back. But you notice not all of those clones end up throwing down their arms. Only some of them do. Yeah. So that's how this whole conscription thing plays out. But it also, you have this dynamic that it's becoming their choice if they want to stay or not.
I actually really like that theory. And
I was really worried from the beginning because when Five's chip got prematurely activated, it seemed like his personality was completely suppressed, and he was carrying out his orders by instinct. I was under the impression, and my theory was that the clones would no longer be viable because the constant suppression would eventually start degrading the minds of the clones and they become unstable.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because these are clones that were, bred for peace. That would be a lot of reprogramming needed, pretty much. So it would make sense also why they need a fresh DNA material from Omega in order to make new clones to replace these, because if not, they will have to go to consignment.
All right. Let's wrap this up. Any final thoughts on the episode?
Yes.
Go ahead, Son.
So I think it was last week that I said that, this two-parter, and all of it together, it really is like the start of a rebellion. And we even have a rich benefactor for buying the weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
For a rebellion. And as much as we're discussing the clone trooper to conscription thing, like, the start of the rebellion is kind of more important at this point.
Well, we kind of saw the start of the rebellion in the very first episode when they went after, what was his name? He was in Saw Gerrera, yeah.
I mean, you're always going to have those singular elements, sure, but you're looking at like the first planet to give true kind of opposition to the point of actually funding and trooping an actual rebellion movement.
Well, yeah, it's like I said at the beginning, the veil of the Empire is lifting. The honeymoon period is just about over.
And that's why you'll see a whole bunch more troopers just up and start leaving or being shot for trying to leave. Because once they start realizing that they're committing war crimes during a time of quote unquote peace, they're going to be like, I'm out.
Maybe we will see the clone rebellion that we were wondering might be a thing. I think that might be.
Oh, that would be a cool way to end the season. Actually,
potentially,
that would be something. All right,
see all the clones start walking out and get arrested, and
all right, that will bring an end to our Bad Batch review. It's going to be an interesting next few episodes for sure. All right, we've got a lot of Star Trek news to cover this week.
Are we rated?
Oh, lot.
Are we not rating?
Carlos, come back.
Are we not rating the Bad Batch episode? Are we doing a roll?
It's rating not that important.
Yeah, we'll give a rating at the end of the season.
Okay.
Like I said, we've got a lot to cover, so let's jump into it. Star Trek got a lot of news this week. A whole lot of news. It's all fun and exciting. And we're going to lead off with the biggest batch is the stuff that around the new shows in production. we've got news that that Strange New Worlds is filming their VFX and external shots in New Mexico. That means Vasquez Rocks. That means deserts.
Well, Vasquez Rocks technically is in California, but
yeah,
my mistake.
That kind of scenery. That kind of scenery.
We're talking arid deserts. We're talking TOS style external vistas. So we're definitely doubling down there. We've got why is the VSX thing in twice? Anyway, we got our first look at the new Enterprise transporter room in leaked photos. We've got a tease from Anson Mount about TOS feel and style in its storytelling. And we got our first look at Discovery's Void, the virtual sets that they're going to use, similar to what The Mandalorian did. So let's lead with this. What do you guys think of all of this new news? Let's lead off with our contrarian, Greg. Our Trek contrarian.
I'm looking forward to Strange New Worlds out of all of it. It's bringing back the old school Trek feel, which will then Strange New Worlds will be better than Discovery and Lower Decks. I'm expecting that. I'm looking forward to it. The news is good. I'm hoping next week we get just talking about like 4 trailers. So Discovery, I hope they can do the same thing with that set with how Mandalorian used it. So that's going to be definitely an interesting dynamic. Strange New Worlds going outside per se versus it's like, hey, we're actually going to see them outside versus Discovery being on a set the whole time. But again, it makes sense for the show.
Why? So much of this third season was shot on location.
Yeah, they were out in Iceland, man.
Anyway,
P.S. These shots in New Mexico are all second unit. That means none of the actors are in them.
Yeah, they could pick better places in New Mexico. But
no.
Strange New Worlds is the one I'm looking forward to the most. Discovery, we'll see what happens. But it was a huge week. So there's a lot to dissect and go from there. But Anson Mount is hands down my favorite Star Trek characters. Playing Pike, he's hands down my favorite Star Trek actor of this new Trek. So we'll see how that goes.
All right.
Justin, let's hear from you.
Well, I am going to pull up the transporter room here, and
yes, let's see it. While you're doing that, Travis, let's hear from you.
What can I say? I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I honestly did, like a lot of this stuff. I'm still kind of on the down low because I'm trying not to get my hype levels too high right now. But I mean, like, I am ecstatic for Strange New Worlds, and of course, I'm looking forward to season 4 of Discovery. And I'm look, I have gushed on previous shows about just how excited I am for Anson Mount and Christopher Pike right now. Like, I have sung his praises to the mountaintops in more ways than one. And, well, I mean, the fact that, like, we are starting to get more information and just more is starting to just become public knowledge. What can I say? Like, I'm just really, really excited. I'm just really hoping that Strange New Worlds blows it out of the water. One of the reasons why I'm kind of trying to hold myself back right now is because I was ecstatic for Picard. And I mean, I feel like my eagerness for more Picard is starting to go down. Like, again, I've said before that just like that's the one new Trek show right now that just isn't exactly like blowing me away. It has its moments, but I mean, like, it feels like it's the one that is just like not exactly hitting it out of the park for me. And I mean, like, I'm just hoping that, Strange New Worlds can, just really hit it out of the park here, because I want it to just... I'm tired of Star Trek pessimism. I'm surrounded by it on a daily basis, guys.
here's the transporter being built.
Strange New Worlds will connect us back to the best Trek in the 90s. So we'll have the best Trek feel back in Strange New Worlds.
TNG?
TNG, DS9, Voyager, best Trek we'll ever have. And Strange New Worlds will help take us back for that.
Wait. Voyager was not like. Look, I love Voyager. But it is not
Voyager.
TNG, DS9, and Voyager will be the 3 best Trek series we will ever see. And like I said, Strange New Worlds will give us that nostalgia feel back.
Like, Voyager is not that good.
Voyager is
not that. It's not that good, Greg. Even the people who worked on it know it's not that good.
It is.
Right.
This is a discussion for another day. But like,
yeah.
Raina, tell me what you think about all the news.
Well, more Trek is good. you guys keep saying it, and honestly, I believe it. I know I got a lot to catch up on, but the more and more I hear your guys' enthusiasm, I want in on it.
Real talk, Raina. Like, when Strange New Worlds comes out, I know that you are not like Trek savvy, but I do believe that Strange New Worlds might be a good show for you to like get introduced to. I will totally share my Paramount Plus subscription with you on Strange New Worlds. Like, that is a show I think like would be fun for you to like follow along with.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I would gladly watch any new Trek like that. New stuff that's new to you guys and new to me. It's just, I guess where I'm at is looking back, I'd rather play catch up on my own time with older stuff because it's just not fun trying to catch up for a show. But like, if it's a new show that you all are watching at the same time as me, I'll watch it.
One of the reasons why I say that is because this is going to be more like, I guess it's going to be kind of episodic like TNG, and it's going to be an era that like is somewhat familiar to all of us, but it's also exploring something that hasn't exactly been.
And actually,
before, so
you guys will have a unique experience. Someone who's new to Trek watching it versus someone who's watched it a long time.
That's going to be fun.
Hey, Brandon, Voyager,
Travis, if you share, I'll watch it.
Yeah, totally.
Voyager's touching at the bottom of the pile. It makes Enterprise look good.
That's not
I'm going to say that Voyager is better than Enterprise.
All right. Son, tell me what you think about all of these bits of news.
Well, I'm with Greg. I really hope that New Voyages or whatever the hell this. There you go. I mean that. I really hope that this is like the thing that brings like all of that hate and stuff to like a just bug stopped squashing. Because like what Travis said, like the pessimism is unfucking real at this point. And it's not helped by the fact that Discovery seasons 1 and 2 were like just a complete and utter fucking mess from a writing standpoint. And it only like started to turn around in season 3.
That's fair.
And now you've got the people who the people who like Lower Decks, and you've got the people who don't. That's cool. You're always going to have people who like a show and don't like a show. Mm-hmm. The Picard series itself was fantastic for getting to that point. It doesn't necessarily feel like there was a full payoff for what we went through. And yet at the same time, knowing that seasons 2 and 3 are what they are, it does feel like it was kind of a waste to me. Like the end of Picard season 1 was just like a waste. It's like, oh, we're going to do a time travel thing now. You could literally just spend the next 2 entire seasons exploring the humanity of not being human anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really hope like this Anson Mount show like turns a whole bunch of shit around.
Well, funny say that because we've already touched on there's supposed to be a more episodic show in nature. It's not going to be as long form as the other stuff, so that's something to look forward to.
And I really hope in the middle of the first season, Michelle Yeoh just literally just plops right there on the fucking bridge of the Enterprise.
That would be fucking awesome.
And he literally goes Obi-Wan on it. Hello there.
That would be awesome.
All right, well, Pike would be the only one who would know her. Well, no, Pike and Spock would know her, so that would be interesting.
Number one knows her too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if number one took a number two on her.
Number one takes the number two.
Right along. please.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Oh
Look,
shit.
look, number one.
You are
number
This ain't that kind of show. This ain't that kind of show.
Remember back to all of that shit. Number one was so like she like knew all of the shit that was going on to the point like it seemed like she knew all about the Section 31 shit, even though she never said a fucking word about it.
How much you want to bet that? I doubt they will do it. I seriously doubt it. But watch them retcon number one as Section 31. I wouldn't be against that. Time out for you groan, Travis. I
I'm
wouldn't
groaning
be
too, for the record.
So did I.
Hold on. Okay, Boomer. I wouldn't be against that.
Boomer.
I would not be against
Boomer.
that.
You're calling me a boomer?
Not you, Justin. The one below me. This guy. This absolute murder.
I was about to say.
I wouldn't be against it. It'd be a nice little twist, but I seriously 100% doubt they'll do it. But that would be interesting because she already knew about it. It's like, well, how would you know? You're not.
Hydrate.
See, here's the thing. Here's how you would retcon it and pull it off. If the Enterprise is going to be the flagship of the Federation, and you have a Section 31 at this point before the whole control thing, the point of Section 31 being like everywhere and exerting its influence almost like the Romulan SS, sort of, then it would make sense that you have an undercover Section 31 officer on the fucking flagship.
Yeah.
Especially when she starts talking about specs for like new weapons and shit for the Enterprise, like all of those little drone fighter things that it launches at the end of, what is it, season 2?
Yeah,
when they're in that big huge battle. Like, she was the one who knew about all of that shit.
Yeah, she organized all of that.
All right, Carlos, your thoughts on the stuff that's been announced this week?
Okay, so I'm going to start with the CGI set, the 3D CGI set, because I think that's really exciting in terms of the visuals we're going to be able to see portrayed. I think...
And you know what? Remember we talked about that during The Mandalorian, that we hoped they would adopt this tech.
Yes, we did. And they
knew about that. They announced that they were using this a while ago.
Yeah. So I hope they use it as well as The Mandalorian has, because it used it well. I liked what I saw in the one picture we saw of, they still had set extensions in the foreground. Right. And then obviously the cyclorama where they project the rest of it. I'm very hopeful about that and about the possibilities. I hope they make the most of them. Second thing, Strange New Worlds is... I am optimistic about it, and but if people are expecting it to be TOS, it's not going to be.
Right.
Okay? They're going for a feel. Yes, they're not looking to replicate half-century-old storytelling. It will still be modern storytelling. The stories will stand on their own each episode, but they've also said that they're going to have season-long arcs that aren't so huge that they get in the way of anyone just watching any particular episode. But they're still going to have season-long arcs, and that's a good thing. There is no reset button at the end of each episode like there was in TNG and TOS.
Thank God.
So if that's what you're looking for here, folks, you aren't going to get it. But that said, I'm super excited about it because I think that there's it's a big universe, and I think there's a lot of room for different kinds of storytelling. And I'm a big fan of serialized storytelling, but that doesn't mean I can't love something episodic. So that's just my personal preference. But I'm looking forward to the fun parts of it, frankly, because one of the things I think Anson Mount brings to Strange New Worlds is a sense of humor. Like, he's the funniest captain we've ever seen, honestly. Like, think of all the captains. He's funny, you know. The others aren't. Kirk could be funny, but frankly, Spock was funnier.
Kirk was not funny on purpose like Pike is, though.
Right,
Like,
Pike is.
You can make fun of Kirk. You can't really make fun
Kirk
of
was
Pike.
more serious. Kirk was more serious than Pike is actual, funny.
Well, you can make fun of Pike, but only if you compare him to the Cage.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but that's a different actor.
You got to remember though. Kirk was dad joke funny at the end of an episode. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, and you would hear that music that they would use all the. Yeah, he was sort of dad joke funny, but he was only able to pull that off because of McCoy and Spock. They're both funnier, honestly.
Yeah. But both, hands down, yes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anyway, my point though is that one of the things we're going to see overall, and in at least one interview I've heard with Anson Mount, is there's going to be a sort of a running theme, because remember, he knows his future. He knows what's going to happen to him one day.
Carlos?
Let me finish so I can, or I'll forget it. That's the only reason I have to insist. So I really believe that will be sort of a tragic, not flaw necessarily, but he's a tragic character, a tragic protagonist, because as much good as we're going to see him do in Strange New Worlds, we all know where he's headed, and he knows where he's headed. And in fact, it might be the fact that he knows where he's headed that he makes some of the choices that we're going to see him make in Strange New Worlds. So I'm very excited about them playing around with that dynamic. Okay, go ahead, Justin.
But what if, on that note, that hang on. Well, what if they go earlier than that? If they go before the Enterprise comes into contact with Discovery,
it's taking place after that.
No, it's after.
It's after season 2.
Yeah, they said this.
Yes.
Where season 2 Discovery, where like they go, where Discovery leaves to the future. That's where Strange New Worlds is going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because otherwise you'd have a different Spock, and you spent an entire season on Discovery turning him into a different Spock. So they're not going to do that. They're not going to go backwards. That would be terrible.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to our next topic. Justin, bring up that video.
Yes. Oh, crap.
Hold on. Is there anything else, sir? Yes. Do you have a Miss Piggy?
Hold up, Travis.
Travis.
Justin didn't do it fast enough.
Okay.
Ooh, crap. Oh, it's security. They're pulling us over.
Yes, those are data dolls.
That was the Lower Decks teaser. The latest our first clear look at what to expect for,
second
concentrated look of what the latest look at what to expect next for Lower Decks season 2. Greg, we know what you think about it. It sucks, right?
The only thing that's going to be the only thing that I would find funny about this season of Lower Decks is if she literally gives Boimler the golf cart and he gets himself Austin powered.
Oh Jesus!
It's an Argo buggy, not a golf cart. Golf cart is slow.
That'd be the perfect.
But you
guy
don't.
for that
I
show.
guess you don't understand what I'm talking about. Like, he literally gets stuck in a small hallway and then gets himself wedged perpendicular in the fucking hallway.
That would be perfect. That would
like
be
that meme.
Well, from Austin Powers.
From Austin Powers. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So first look at Lower Decks, I'm like, oh crap. But I mean, I'm gonna watch it like I did season 1, where I had to keep my eyes open with tape so I wouldn't look away. I'll watch season 2.
Ejecting Greg into space.
Justin,
Greg,
come on.
Greg, for for
I mean, I will
new
say this.
viewers,
I will say this.
would you mind explaining just a little bit about why you hate Lower Decks so much, just in a nugget, so people get the context of what you're saying?
There's too many things. Overall, it's Rick and Morty, and I can't stand Rick and Morty.
Okay.
But it's also it's far too campy for what Star Trek can be. Funny. Star Trek can be extremely humorous. Lower Decks just absolutely asinately pushes that too far. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Boimler, because if he's back with Mariner, I'm like, okay, well, why aren't you on the Titan unless you're on shore leave? Because in that space dock, we saw the Cerritos, we didn't see the Titan, so who knows?
Well, but we did see a Parliament class, though.
Yeah,
he did. But we'll see what happens.
Officers go on, get transferred temporarily to other ships all the time.
Ooh, what if this is what causes Boimler to get promoted?
We'll see if Mariner calls on her old buddy Riker and gets her on the Titan. But this is being released weekly, or are they dumping it all at once? That part is
weekly.
Weekly.
Okay. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I do like that we got our first confirmation that Boimler and Mariner do at least have one adventure together. Is that we saw them separates. The
first teaser,
Mariner, Rutherford, and Tendi were still on the Cerritos, while Boimler was having adventures on the Titan.
Yeah, here's my prediction about that, based on what we saw in the earlier released trailer for Lower Decks season 2, and that is Boimler is not going to be a good fit at on the Titan.
The Rikers, yeah.
It feels like that's a rather obvious prediction.
Well, yeah, I mean that's
spoilers are Travis.
What?
Boimler and Travis are the same. Have you not noticed that?
Boimler doesn't have a lane.
That's true.
Yeah, Mariner.
Oh my God! Did you just call Mariner a lane? I mean, not that that's a bad thing, Lane. You're just different people. That's all. I didn't mean
different species.
See, now you made me go and make Lane mad. I apologize.
We're just confused.
No, I think Boimler is going to stay on the Titan.
Yes.
I think that they made that change
Let's bet $1 on it.
and that they're going to own that change, and that there are going to be occasional crossovers. One thing that they said is that they're going to try and focus more on Rutherford and Tendi in this episode, as well as some of the other supporting characters, to fill them out a bit.
You mean the season?
Right. I need to address something here. Like,
let's hear it.
I'm gonna have to address something that Greg said, because this is like
you done it now.
I'm about to go on a tangent, because this is one thing.
Wait.
No,
let Travis. Let Travis go.
Don't wait me.
Go ahead, Travis.
I do not understand why people will look at Lower Decks and say like, "Oh, it's just Rick and Morty," or I've even seen people say like, "Oh, it's just Family Guy," or like, I don't get.
That's the Orville.
Like this is like, you cannot tell me that Rick and Morty and the Lower Decks deliver the same kind of experience. Lower Decks is nowhere near as nihilistic as Rick and Morty. The characters are completely different. The concepts, like, honestly, if I'm going to compare Lower Decks to any other animated sci-fi show, I'd probably compare it more to Futurama than anything. And even then, it's just like, because it's just like, it's more just like the tone and the style of humor more than it is like who made it. Like the fact that like Mike McMahon has worked on Rick and Morty, like I find that so unfortunate, because it is such a stigma. Like people are using the Rick and Morty thing as such a stigma to the show when they are just nothing alike. I cannot stand Rick and Morty. I have tried, and I probably will try again, because like I have so many people saying like, look, it's not like the nihilistic touch of this show goes away after a while, and it gets better, Travis. Like what you are seeing, Travis, it gets better than what you have seen. And I want to believe that. But again, like the way like timing, the way that I have lost my train of thought now because
Yeah, see, Justin, that's what happens when you do that. So please don't.
What was I saying? Someone help me.
Rick and Morty.
You're saying that the nihilism goes away and that it gets better, but you're having trouble seeing it.
Like some of the things that like really stick out, that really kind of drive me away is like one of the things I can't stand about Rick and Morty is the way that I don't know the scientist dude. What's his name? Is he Rick or Morty? I can't stand how he belches almost every single sentence. Like it just, I can't do it. Like there is no constantly drunk character on Lower Decks. There is no I think like the only thing I can really say is like, from what I guess like Boimler and Morty maybe have some similarities in that they're like the kind of like bumbling like, oh, like this is too much for me type of thing. But I mean, even then, like Boimler is not like Morty. He is determined. He is trying to move up, while Morty just seems like this guy who's just kind of along for the ride and trying to get away from it in any way possible. Like the experiences of these shows are not alike, and I cannot stand it when people say like, oh, it's just this only in a Trek skin or anything like that. It's a stigma that is dishonest and is inaccurate, and I'm sorry, Greg, I cannot agree with you on this. I just can't.
Well,
like,
Charles, that's the thing. You don't have to agree with it. I hate Lower Decks. You love Lower Decks. And there's my comparison. There's your comparison.
Is it hate or dislike?
And like, I'm not saying that you can't dislike or hate it, but I mean, like, just saying that it's just Rick and Morty. I can't get behind
what he's doing is critiquing. It's not a, you can like it, I can hate it. What he's doing is critiquing the reason that you gave, and the reason that you gave was it's Rick and Morty. His point is it's not. So it's not a question of everyone gets to choose what they're going to do. He's just saying you said one thing that is not supported by evidence from his perspective.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem with both. That's the problem with both arguments. Both series are subjective to whoever's viewing them.
Well, of course,
so it doesn't really fucking matter if you think Greg's wrong or Greg thinks you're wrong.
It does matter. It does matter because we're doing
both. You see both episodes. You see both series completely differently. Like, and I'm the same way with Greg. I've seen like a few episodes of Rick and Morty. I'm completely turned off by it.
I've seen a few episodes of Rick and Morty, and I'm not a fan. I don't hate it.
I'm not either.
But it's not what I watch on Lower Decks.
I sat through the first couple episodes of Lower Decks. We talked about my sitting through the first couple of episodes of Lower Decks. Mm-hmm. It has moments. It genuinely does. But the whole feel of that show turns me off.
And you're entitled to feel that way. I'm not saying you're not entitled to feel that way. What I'm saying is that, the purpose of this podcast is discussion. And it means that you can't just say, live and let live. You think one way, I think the other way. Everyone's can be happy and peaceful. Well, that's not the way podcast works, folks. It works when people disagree and when they critique constructively. I mean, there is no objective way of saying Travis is right and Greg is wrong. And I'm not trying to say that. What I'm saying is that if they're going to make arguments, it's okay to critique the arguments and see if there's anything that's valid there. Greg, I'm sure, continues to believe that it is Rick and Morty. Travis, and I assume Lane, see all the ways that it's not Rick and Morty. And I accept that both those realities exist. But for the people who watch this show, now they have two perspectives from which to choose when they're going to decide whether or not to watch it, put up the money for Paramount Plus or whatever. So we're doing a service I hope, to our viewers by having different perspectives and airing them in a constructive and civil way, which you both did. So, end of rant.
And not to mention, you've got the whole thing that two people may watch the same show and just be completely interpreted differently every time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, prime example, my mom is an absolute fan of the Tudors, and I found that Rain was more entertaining. We're completely opposite. We're completely opposite of it.
Ooh, I gotta
and
think
in
about
relation
that.
to in relation to the current discussion, I'm a fan of both Rick and Morty and Lower Decks, and I see those two shows. I don't see the similarity between those shows either. There is a significant difference in the tone and storytelling of Rick and Morty compared to Lower Decks. There are similarities. There is some cross-pollination because there are people who worked on one show that work on another, so some things are going to carry over. Mariner is very overbearing and tends to drag Boimler along on her misadventures, and that is a similarity. But the differences in the characters, Mariner is definitely not a Rick by any stretch of the imagination. She legitimately wants to help people. She wants to do right for the people that are around her, except a little bit of Boimler. And Boimler is incredibly intelligent and in certain things competent. He is as far from a Morty as you can get, who is insecure, bumbling, clumsy, and kind of dumb sometimes. But and none of there are no real analogs to the other characters either. Rick is a loner who pushes people away, who is afraid of any and all commitments and just keeps people around for the convenience. It's the differences are staggering, and in the tone, as we've said, Rick and Morty is a very nihilistic show. Its commentary and its stories are farcical sometimes, and the idea that nothing really matters is encapsulated in the episode where Rick fucks up so bad he completely ruins a reality and just inserts himself into another where he and Morty die to immediately pick up where their counterparts died and just slot right in. You don't see anything like that in Lower Decks. The Lower Decks is Star Trek in that its stories are positive, uplifting, and optimistic. Granted, it leans more on the comedic side of things, but it is miles apart from what you see in Rick and Morty, at least to me. But we are short on time, so anyone have any final thoughts on this topic?
I'm not going to contribute a thought other than to ask Justin to put up Leah's take, the one that says, I feel ultimately it's hard to look past the animation style. That is a legitimate
yes.
That is a legitimate critique.
Yes. I understand that, yes.
People can look at that and just, I don't like the way it looks. And I'm okay with that. I think that's a well-reasoned argument.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of, but that's just, well thought out reason. Yeah, that's fine. That's legitimate.
Really, the only thing
people are going to like what we like. We're not going to like what we're not going to like. But
we're short on time, so let's move this thing forward.
Let's move ahead.
Oh, I barely got a chance to say anything on this topic. So
I'm sorry, Justin. I really am. But... All right, we are getting another Star Trek movie. Maybe. We've been led on for so long in between Quentin Tarantino and so many others. 5 different projects that came about and just were strung into endless maybes. But a new Star Trek movie project has been announced with a premiere date of 2023, and
the big news,
it is a direct sequel. We don't know if it's a sequel to Beyond, if it's something new, if it's a spin-off of something that's currently something currently in production. But what we do know, spring 2022 is when it's supposed to be out. And what we know
that's when it starts shooting. That's when
it starts shooting. I was right, 2023. What we know is that its director is the director of WandaVision.
And that is really good news.
Should have let Justin Lin do it again.
I'm not going to disagree with you. Beyond was amazing, and I can't believe it lost an Oscar to freaking Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I agree with that. You're right.
I'm looking forward to it. My only qualm is just that I really wish Justin Lin would have been back to direct it, and Simon Pegg would be writing it. Like, those two did an amazing job of Beyond. But I'm definitely open to Shankman doing his thing. See what happens.
The only thing
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look up the writers on this. They were named in the article.
Beer and Geneva Robertson Doritz.
Yeah,
it's gonna be the first Trek. It's gonna be the first Trek movie ever written by an all-female team.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But do we know what else they've worked on? Did anybody get a chance to look it up?
I am looking it up now.
This just broke today, so that's why I haven't had a chance to.
The only thing
myself.
I really have to say is
Beer is go gadget IMDb.
While he's looking it up, Justin, you were going to say something. Okay.
I was just the only thing I really have to say is the same thing I said last time we were talking about a Star Trek movie. Fucking make it happen.
This one looks like it's doing.
Okay,
like it's great that they have a date, but
she wrote for the Magic Order, a TV series. What she's doing a lot of upcoming projects. She's doing an adaptation for another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh, God.
Star Trek Mask, Mobile Armored Assault Command.
No, yes, I want to see this.
She's doing the reboot of Short Circuits. She's writing Silver Sable.
Oh, interesting.
Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light, The King Killer
When is she going to have
Chronicle,
time?
and a sequel to Pet Cemetery.
Oh my God! Wait, there's two of them. What's the other one doing?
Well, let me see. Let's. The other writer is Geneva Robertson DWORET. That's that. Dowit.
Okay, so while you're looking that up,
What?
I want to point out an observation made by the Guardian about this news that I thought was interesting. And obviously,
She wrote Captain Marvel.
Really?
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay, let's see. Tomb Raider, Captain Marvel.
Oh.
She's also writing for Visionaries, Knights of Magic Light, and Silver Sable, and
When
Mask.
is she going to have time to do this?
This is stuff she's
Gotham
done
City
already.
Sirens.
She's already written them.
Wait, what was that last one, Ross?
Sirens.
Gotham City Sirens.
Ooh.
Oh, that's finally happening. Jesus, I've heard about that one for a while now.
It's been 84 years.
Which Tomb Raider, do you know?
The 2018 Tomb Raider.
Oh, that was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that was a good one.
What do you mean heard? You haven't seen it, Carlos?
I'm not a video game movie person.
Oh,
I'm just not.
okay.
He's not a video game person in general.
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, but he's like the boomer of the room. He was before video
So
games.
here's the question:
We invented
will this
them.
movie happen?
No.
I think it will. I think it will.
We have been down this road how many times now?
Yes, but what didn't we have then?
We didn't have people who have experience on actual successfully brought to the screen projects with subjects that weren't necessarily like Silver Sable is no Iron Man, but my guess is it was okayed for production because they had a damn good script.
Well, also, what else didn't we have then?
Confirmation.
Not that's not what I'm talking about. We didn't have Paramount CBS.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All
Well, we
of those
did
other movie
Quentin, didn't
projects were created by Paramount when it was its own company, when it was struggling to have the blockbusters to keep it afloat, to keep its investors happy. This is the first announced movie project after the merger and after the resurgence of Trek as it is now
on television.
On
so
television.
here's the question. The article in the Guardian posed, and I think it's a good one, is, they claim that what Trek fans really want is not J.J. Abrams style boom boom pew pew pew, but a really solid story that's smaller and more intimate and more cerebral, if you were. I don't think that's going to happen.
That's
I
not
think
what movies for.
we're going to see more of that than we've seen in the J.J. Abrams stuff. They're certainly going to spend money on VFX, no doubt about that. But they need to take a different tone. They need a different
Instead of rehashing.
aspiration for these characters, whether they're the ones that we know or new ones that they introduce here. It'll be interesting to see which that's going to be.
No.
But this is a real opportunity. I hope they don't mess it up.
So here's something that I want to ask. Oh, sorry, Travis. Please go ahead.
No worries. I was just gonna say that, like, I honestly believe that when it comes to the Star Trek movies, a lot of the more successful, more beloved movies are not exactly the most cerebral pieces out there.
Justin, what were you gonna say?
I felt like the first two movies were kind of rehashes of what's come before, with just characters swapped out, a little bit change of story here and there. But Beyond was great. I hope we get more like Beyond, where it wasn't too over the top. It was it was fun to watch.
The trouble is, Beyond was a box office failure. They're not going to replicate Beyond.
No, they can't replicate it, but they can, duplicate it. The problem, the first two movies suffered was the copies.
Sure.
One was basically the motion picture, basically. Two was 2 and 3, maybe a mix of, 2 and 3, maybe a mix of 6. So they gotta do something unique. Gotta do something that's standalone. I'm hoping they set up the Kelvin. I'm hoping it's a TOS Kelvin. Have they said what it's going to be yet or no?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they kept like the Kelvin timeline going. Like, not put like keep the Kelvin movies as movies per se. Then keep the Prime, if you will, timeline. The shows. And not saying they can't make another Prime Star Trek movie, but let the Kelvin keep the movies. And if they want to do a Discovery movie, for instance, or I don't know if Lower Decks would be a movie. But
I want to see the Kelvin timeline progress. I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to see it progress. I want to see it go through what would be the movie era.
Beyond wasn't a failure.
No, it wasn't.
It underperformed, but it wasn't a failure.
Yeah, a lot of studios wouldn't call $390 million in the box office a failure.
Its budget was $185 billion, and its box office was $343.5 billion.
Yeah, so that's not profitable, folks. I know the one number sounds bigger, but you have to remember that you spend
marketing
for marketing and everything, and they short shrifted the marketing, which I think was one of the problems with Beyond. But
didn't release in time for the 50th anniversary.
It wasn't an utter flop, but given the fact that it was the 50th anniversary and that it should have been better,
but they released it after.
What?
They released it after the anniversary.
Yeah, right. But it was in the same year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. But I remember their marketing was very subpar. That was a problem Paramount had.
There was also a lot of competition in the theater at that time. You had Ghostbusters and Suicide Squad.
Oh, Crapbusters.
Go figure. The best of those three movies is the one that underperformed. It's like, really?
Yeah, and it didn't get the Oscar. I'm always going to be.
I still can't.
But okay, here's the question for you guys. Something about a trend I see with these two screenwriters and their films so far. They're all female led. So, what would you say about a Star Trek movie that is female led? If it's Kelvin universe, something centered around Uhura, something centered around Nurse Chapel, something centered around Jayla.
I would love to see a Jayla movie.
I would love to see a Jayla movie.
I don't know about Jayla centric. I'm okay with the female part of it. Maybe if they're continuing across Kelvin timeline, then let's see. Spock wants to leave the Enterprise now that he found out his Prime version is dead. That's still kind of in the back of his head, if you will. This would be a perfect opportunity then for them to center on Jayla to replace Chekhov, since they are refusing to recast, which I agree with. Have her come in and take Chekhov's position as Helm, as Weapons, and have her be on the bridge at that point, but then center on her journey to that point.
Here's the issue with bringing back the Kelvin cast. When the first movie came out, they were all relatively unknown actors. This was their first,
Except
if
for
not
Urban.
one of their first, with the exception of Carl Urban and Simon Pegg.
No, even Zachary Quinto had like some pretty
Heroes.
He
Yeah.
had
but he
heroes.
was a TV
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. This was his first big film break, as far as I know. Now, Zoe Saldana's a freaking Avenger.
And
Not to mention the one of the lead
Navi.
characters of Avatar, which is getting
Yeah.
5 freaking movies for some.
Zoe,
Okay, and how we are, sorry, real quick, just one
Guardian of the
quick
fucking
joke.
galaxy.
How we are with Star Trek? Is Star Trek happen? Are these Avatar sequels going to happen? So
They're in production, dude.
All 5 of them.
Oh gosh. Anyway, Travis, you were going to say something?
So
No, like I was just saying that Zoe isn't an Avenger; she's a Guardian of the fucking galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But the point
Right,
being
you know.
that she now commands an A-list salary, and which is the larger point you're getting
So
to,
does,
of course, which is
Coy.
they can't afford these people unless they take less money, which they might.
It's happened.
You know, for the same reason that really famous people lend their voices to a lot of animated features, is they're doing it for less money because they know that kids for generations are going to be seeing that, and so they're immortalized because of it. So, you know, that might work for them. I hope it does. But if they were to command, let me finish, please. If they were to command the salaries that they do now, they can't afford to make this movie.
I agree with Leia.
What'd you say?
In the chat.
All right.
God damn it,
Admiral Janeway.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
If we have a prime timeline film, you could literally have an Admiral Janeway film.
Yes.
Oh, sure, but I don't think they're gonna. Yeah, I agree with you, but I don't think they're gonna prime. I don't think they're gonna prime.
We're gonna do a prime one.
Ooh. Yeah, they could. But another
If anything, sorry, Jason, go ahead.
But God dang it! Now I lost my train of thought. Shit.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
If anything, a few years ago, before he passed, George and I had a discussion about this. I brought it up before, but it's worth reiterating that an interesting thing that they might do is take 1 or 2 of the original cast members to have that link to those movies, but carry on with a more or less new cast with one or two of the originals to carry these stories forward. Maybe on the Enterprise or maybe on a different ship, as a way to expand this alternate universe.
I remember that topic because we had also thought. I mean, they proved that they could recast the crew. You know, with different people. It didn't have to be Shatner.
Yeah, but it was the same characters, and this is different. But I think you're right. I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Justin.
I mean, they could do it. I mean, look, get someone that looks exactly like Chris Pine. Get a dude that plays Homelander. I mean, he looks dead up like Chris Pine.
We're not talking about doing another reboot, Justin.
Yeah, this is.
Oh no, it wouldn't be a reboot.
It's
It's a continuation of the story with just all leads recast.
What I'm talking about is keeping 1 or 2 of the original characters and then bringing in a whole new group of characters around them.
Yeah,
i.e. Star Trek Prodigy. You have Janeway, hologram be it, but Janeway with a whole new cast around her,
or Picard.
Right?
Yeah.
They would have to probably set it.
So here's a question for you guys: would you see a movie like that?
Yeah.
Would I see a
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think
my thing is with Star Trek, if they want to bring back Pine and Quinto, not to demean where they are in their standing, Zaldana is the only one that would command an A-list salary. Not Pine and Quinto, they have done projects, but Zaldana is recognized around the world more so than they are because of Star Trek, first off, then Avatar and Marvel. It's like she would command that kind of salary. Quinto and them would still be like, no, you know, they're good. And Chris Pine would probably be the next one in line because of Wonder Woman. But then you have Urban, who hasn't done too much. Quinto, Simon.
Urban did The Boys.
Yeah, Urban. Urban will
them.
Command money, dude. He's
so would Simon Pegg, which is probably why he's not writing.
Promote Harry Jesus.
That was
Harry Kim movie.
Okay,
Captain Kim movie.
That would break all of reality and cause a massive timeline reset. You can't do
No
that.
more Loki talk.
Captain Harry Kim. You have him on the, you have him on, I don't know, the Voyager B, since they did Voyager J or whatever. He is Captain Harry Kim. Give us that movie.
All right, we're
Yes.
we're really running long on this topic. I love it, but we need to wrap.
Can we do a final?
Get
Can we
ahead.
do a final survey? Just a quick survey
Yes.
of people. Of the two options, a Kelvin universe continuation or a Prime universe story, which would you prefer?
Kelvin.
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 I would do Kelvin if they would get the old crew back, or at least they would do the mixed match, not a new crew. It can't be an all new crew.
Right now,
I think it could be, but
I don't know. What's the difference?
Raina.
I'm sorry, I forgot. I forgot you're not as familiar with it. The film
Prime.
characters or TV show characters for the movie, or actors.
I think TV show characters would be fine. They could be paid probably a little bit less, but still carry with more of a budget. I've always said that about TV shows, is when you take those actors and actresses in those shows and you put them into a movie setting, give them a bigger budget and shit. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
All right. Thank you guys very much for and that brings an end to all of our Star Trek topics today. Let's power through these last ones so we can get to what are we watching in Florida Man tonight. All right.
That's 4, Justin. Good job. That's 4.
Deadpool has made his MCU debut. Kinda.
Yes.
On Ryan Reynolds' own YouTube channel, he released a video of Deadpool reacting to Ryan Reynolds' upcoming movie, Free Guy, with a guest reactor, Korg, from Thor, Ragnarok, and Infinity War, or Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Played by Taika Waititi, who is also in Free Guy as the bad guy.
He was the rock guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm made of rocks. Glad to be here.
Yeah, made of rocks.
Carlos, if you haven't watched it, it's
I have.
Okay, yeah. And in this, we have Deadpool being Deadpool, making fourth wall breaking remarks, very self-aware stuff, both about Ryan Reynolds, Disney, and Marvel, and even digging at Deadpool 2 and some of the storytelling choices they made, and Korg being Korg as they watch the trailer for Free Guy. Have you guys watched it, and what do you think, Carlos?
I did not watch it. I am a Deadpool
didn't watch it?
fan. I just didn't
play the video, but keep it muted.
Okay, so then come back to me.
Greg.
Oh, I absolutely love the reaction video. I didn't see when they announced it, but I saw it. I clicked. I was like, "There's no friggin' way," because the video at the time when I saw it said Deadpool's introduction to the MCU. I'm like, oh, so I click it and it was this. So I'm like, oh, that's friggin' amazing. And then just maximum reactions. That was just absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I'm definitely. It is Ryan Reynolds in the MCU, if you will, but they got the perfect character to react with him in Korg. That was the only thing that would have made it better is if he had Meek in between them.
Oh, thank you, Greg. Son.
I've honestly not seen this, so.
Okay. Travis.
I haven't seen it. I just have one question.
Yes.
Are there any Detective Pikachu references?
No.
Oh,
0 out of 10.
Raina.
I loved it. Honestly, my favorite joke was the dig at Fox. This feels like a last-minute push out by Fox, like just them scrounging something together to throw out there to get their last bit of money. Oh, I just loved how self-aware everything was. But honestly, the stuff around even how do you get into the MCU? Well, you go home, you cry a lot, you cry a little more, you wait for your agent to call, and just maybe through all that despair, you get a job. But it's just so good. Like Ryan Reynolds knows how to put these things together, and I seriously hope they do more of these with other MCU characters.
There is a one with him doing this.
I just want to see like actual characters playing as their superhero counterparts, having to deal with his bullshit the whole time. Like
it's such a wonderful thing because they're just being them.
Yeah.
This is Deadpool being Deadpool. This is Korg being Korg.
Like I'm just saying, like, my dream here, just to see how different of characters they are, is just have him and Loki in the same goddamn room.
Oh, God.
No. There's your Nexus event.
No.
There's your Nexus event.
I can't wait for Deadpool to meet Spider-Man and for that toxic friendship to be born.
Oh my God!
That would be Order 66 in the MCU.
Justin,
you know that, right?
What do you think?
That's fucking awesome. I love these type of skits, especially when it's Ryan Reynolds, because he just makes it so fun. I mean, he is Deadpool. Even when he's not playing Deadpool, he's Deadpool. All I see whenever I see Ryan Reynolds now is Deadpool.
There is no Ryan Reynolds. There is only Deadpool.
Not even watching that god-awful Green Lantern movie. You see Deadpool.
It doesn't exist anymore, remember? Green Lantern, he took care of that.
Carlos,
You're welcome, Ken.
Based on the snippets you've seen and our reactions, what do you think?
Oh, it looks great. I'm optimistic about its larger meaning because Ryan Reynolds wouldn't be allowed to use the character without permission, which means someone with authority said, "Yeah, go ahead and do it." And it's obviously well produced, so some real money went into this, and so I think it bodes well for the MCU.
I think everybody was scared about Disney neutering Deadpool, but I mean, if this is anything, it looks like we got our Deadpool still. So
yeah, I mean, Deadpool. Let's
Disney
be honest.
confirmed.
It made a shit ton of money.
Yes.
And that's the only thing that matters. Yeah, twice.
And
That's all that matters.
If I may, the Disney greenlighting that Deadpool will be rated R gave me a sigh of relief. So, and Kevin Feige confirmed Ryan Reynolds is writing it, so that even more or less so, like, hey, we can easy a little bit. But this is funny, just to kind of think back on this is the timing that's coming out. Who did we just see on Instagram pose with Kevin Feige? And then who does Deadpool joke about his first movie? Who's got a nice pair of smooth criminals down under? I wouldn't be surprised if Hugh Jackman played a part in this, getting it done.
Maybe.
Oh, can we finally get that Deadpool
and you know what?
movie?
Disney seems to have a good, like, joking personality about the Deadpool character. Because, I mean, did you see what he was reviewing before this? He was reviewing Cruella.
Yes.
The damn dogs.
With a Dalmatian next to him.
Yes.
So Disney obviously knows, like, this, like, they're poking fun at themselves even in this regard. Like, I love it.
They don't have a choice with Deadpool. Deadpool's gonna fuck with them no matter what.
All right, last topic.
Yes.
Titans Season 3.
Fuck Batman.
Rick is back in
one.
Gotham. We've got Barbara Gordon as the commissioner, but not as a geriatric, as paraplegic. We've got Scarecrow. We've got Red Hood. We've got Batman retiring. We've got Dick filling the
old beat up Batman too.
And we've essentially got a more modern looking Batman Beyond. And I couldn't be any more happy.
It's about damn time we got something.
Did you notice Tim Burton Batman kind of floating around?
I mean, my biggest gripe about superhero stories in general is that they don't let time advance. They don't let characters age out, and they don't let new generations fill in because characters are marketable and recognizable, and they've got to keep them alive in perpetuity, and it pisses me off. Marvel tried it, and then they backed off. DC tried it, and they backed off, kind of. DC's trying to do it again, which I hope it works, but I'm excited to see what they do with this show because they are not afraid of pushing boundaries with this show and really doing stuff weird. But I'm still kind of confused because isn't Robin or Dick kind of a fugitive at this point?
Apparently he gets back into their good graces because Barbara Gordon welcomes him back.
Yeah. Instead of arresting him for attempted murder.
Give us a Batman Beyond movie, damn it.
Right?
Well, we're getting the best thing.
Right, we are.
You know, we're already getting Tim Burton, Michael Keaton back in Tim Burton Batman. So
season 2 left us with a lot of questions.
Yeah.
We had Blackfire possessing that mother of 2, which, you know, stuck at my dad instincts and made me want to rage. We just so many questions, so many unanswered questions.
I mean, you know, this could all be some type of evolution, but I mean, I love that they used it looked like it was the same actor that played the Bruce Wayne last time in Titans. They just aged him up.
Same guy.
Yeah,
Who
same
was
guy.
the Bruce Wayne that met with the rest of the team in season 2? Because that wasn't apparently Bruce.
I
don't remember what you mean.
It's too much to go into now. There's so many unanswered questions.
Yes,
this show is so freaking.
I wonder if this whole season
good.
ain't going to be an illusion.
I will say
no. They don't have enough seasons of this show for them to waste one. You know, everybody remembers Dallas. You're not gonna do that.
Raina, go ahead.
I don't know if it was you, Ross, or if it was Carlos. I think I came in immediately hating this show. Like, I seriously was trying to find every reason to hate it. I went back and watched the first season again, and I'm just starting on season 2, and you know what? I really enjoy it, actually. Like, I found that I'm enjoying it more the second time around, because the first time I think I was finding a reason to hate it, but once I just kind of let my guard down and watch it, like, it's really entertaining.
I was
Welcome to being a
sold
Star
with the
Trek
show.
Yep.
I was sold with the show when they did the 2-episode or the 2-episode arc soft pilot of Doom Patrol.
Yeah, that was a big one. Here's one for me that I loved about this show that goes right with what you said, Ross, about liking the way they take chances. Okay, who would spend as much money as they're spending on this series, and I'm sure it's a lot by the look of it, and showcase as much as they have the characters of Hawk and Dove, who are so minor in the DC universe, but here they're major, and they're making good use of them. So I think that's a great sign creatively that they're taking characters, frankly, they can fuck around with, you know, and do things and explore things that they wouldn't with more established, better known characters. And I think that's a good sign.
Not only that, but relative lightweights on the team.
Yeah.
Hawk and Dove are there. They would be the muscle of any other team, but in a group with Raven, Starfire, Superboy, and Beast Boy, they're kind of the lightweights, but they command so much drama.
They feel like they carry a lot of weight, like they've been through a lot.
Well, they have,
and and they're good enough fighters. You know, you could make the same argument about Black Widow. I mean, they have her fighting aliens. Come on, and yet it works. You know, I did a rewatch of the first Avengers movie last week.
Spoilers.
I have a bow and arrow. This doesn't make any sense.
They even make fun of it, you know, but they made it work. You know, they clearly made it work in Endgame as well.
Yeah. All right. So I'm sold on season 3. How about the rest of you guys?
Yes.
Yep.
It's coming in August, isn't it? August 12th, I think.
Same day as Lower Decks, man. They're trying to compete.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a big weekend for us.
What do you think? Should we review the show should we review it on the show?
I don't.
I would love to.
You guys can have fun with that. I have not seen any of these seasons.
It's a good show. If you want to check it out, I
I
recommend
have no
it.
doubt that it's a good show. I just have too much on my plate right now. I'm like starting to rewatch a lot of Star Trek right now for my upcoming countdown. So I've got.
Hey, Travis, you need help with that? Let me know.
I'll let you know.
All right. That will bring us to our final topic of the night at 3 hours. Well, it's only been 2, so not too bad. About a little over.
2.5
No, wait,
hours.
we started at an hour and a half.
Yeah,
we're actually doing pretty good on time.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good on time.
Sweet. All right.
You have me to thank for starting late.
A rarity.
Oh,
A
it's his
rarity.
son's fault.
All right. Well, son, let's lead with you. What have you been watching this week?
So, I watched two things this week, and okay, so I watched this channel called Illuminati, which is this lady who likes to go through like multi-level managing corporations and like the backstories of like some pretty shady corporations. And this she started like this new series called Prism of the Past, which is like an exploration of it's to kind of like be a little bit more lighthearted. But it kind of went dark this week because she wanted to do a thing on Shirley Temple. And oh boy, Shirley Temple literally got started being like a Lolita character in movies. And this is before age 10. She was literally starring in these shows that they called baby burlesque. Like, oh boy, that's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So it makes sense that Miss Temple would then go on to kind of be an activist against a lot of stuff like this, like she did. But at the same time, I watched something else this week, and I just had the link for it and lost it. Darn it. Oh, that's right. Okay. I watched a theory about Picard's next seasons, and as much as I don't think it's going to happen because the whole shift of the seasons is going to be completely different, the theory was that because of like the stuff that went on in the first season of Picard, if like that stuff continued on and we weren't going to do the whole Q and time travel looking thing, it would wind up that we would see Seven of Nine becoming her own Borg Queen. And that's because she spent like all of this time like being groomed by the Borg Queen to begin with, like to be the next queen. She's spent all this time outside of the collective watching former drones be just like poorly treated, like absolutely horribly treated. And at this point, she's like reconnected to be like a temporary Borg queen. But at some point that she's just going to like look at the whole situation with former drones in what isn't the Federation and go, you know what? I'm going to start my own collective.
Like she did in that one episode?
Well, I mean, like this isn't something new, honestly. Like we had the cooperative in Voyager.
Yeah.
They didn't really have a queen figure, but at this point it would make sense that a whole bunch of the kind of the lost drones from the contact with the whatever the hell that device was, it would make sense that she would want to like collect them, considering how they were treated by the Romulans.
The ones that weren't vented into space.
Sure. Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, there aren't many left. But plus, we have to remember the show isn't called 7 of 9.
No, but 7 has developments.
Oh yeah, of course, she's a major character, but that's a pretty big storyline. Given that there really aren't that many of those former Borg left, and with those former Borg want to re-collectivize now that they've been separated. Those are heavy issues. I'm not sure they would ever have the time to explore it, given the fact that she's
again, like I said, if we weren't dealing with Q and time travel, like it's like just blatantly fucking obvious at this point.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time you're having Picard like have this what is it to be human thing as he's in a robot body, you would have like along that same path, you'd have Seven having the same kind of crisis with the Borg who are left. Because, I mean, sure, they've all been severed from the collective, but they've all been like fucking mind screwed because of the damn thing. So, like, she's literally got to baby all these Borg.
All right.
Let's table that for another show. That might be a discussion worth
Yeah,
looking at.
that'll be a good discussion topic. Thank you for sharing that, son. Greg, what were you watching this week?
I watched 2 amazing movies, actually, that I was very thrilled to finally find one on Hulu and the other one was on Netflix. Finally got to see Bill and Ted Face the Music. Absolutely fucking loved it. It was a worthy end for that trilogy. I'm sorry, I couldn't recommend that movie enough. And then finally I was like, oh, I remembered another movie I added, Gunpowder Milkshake. Oh my god.
On Netflix. That's on my list.
I mean, it's
we've been talking about that.
So I want to talk about next week if we can. Oh my god, Karen Gillan, girl owns that fucking movie. Absolutely astounding in that movie. The supporting cast, I can't give enough credit to it. Carla Gugino, Michelle Yeoh, and then the little girl, her name is Emily. Everybody did phenomenal. Paul Giamatti is what you want in a bad guy. If you guys this weekend, next few days, watch it. You won't regret it. And yeah, it was just absolutely amazing to watch both those movies finally. Between which one I liked more, I'd have to say I like Gunpowder Milkshake more just because from the second the movie starts, I'm enthralled in it. But Bill and Ted, just seeing them encounter each other as they get older is just hilarious.
And of course, funny movie.
And of course, who hasn't seen? I don't want to spoil it for him, but who hasn't seen Bill and Ted, the new one?
I haven't seen any.
I haven't seen it. Go ahead and
you haven't seen it. Okay, I don't want to spoil it, but just seeing Will Sadler as Death again, that was great.
Nice. All right, thank you, Greg.
Yep.
Travis, what were you watching this week?
This week on Disney Roulette.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
That was good timing. I would argue that was good timing, Justin.
Boom.
I mean, I was favoring that one.
Travis was telling us what he watched.
George of the Jungle.
Really?
George of the Jungle.
Watch out for that tree.
We pulled George of the Jungle, and let me tell you, that is a childhood movie that is one of my big childhood movies. My sister and I quoted that movie to death, like almost as much as Spaceballs. And putting it like I've said it before, like we straight up created a messenger group on Facebook just so we could quote Spaceballs at each other, like the entire movie. And
who was he?
George of the
He's an
Jungle
asshole,
was,
sir. I know that. What's his name? That is
Stop it. Stop. Like freaking George of the Jungle is one of those kinds of movies for us. And so just putting it on and just quoting this thing as it's playing at us from like Jabba 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 Jabba, and just like we were just losing it and we were having so much fun. This is definitely like, in terms of like how it's held up over the years, I'd say it's held up decently well. I mean, it's a pretty silly movie, but it's one of those like just it's all sorts of fun. We had a blast, and I absolutely love John Cleese in that movie. I keep forgetting that he is in that movie, and he's just so damn charming. And Brendan Fraser is so damn funny, and I love the fucking narrator of that movie. And yes, it was a great poll this week. We watched a wonderful, wonderful trip down memory lane.
Well, the other sound effect I was going to use to start that off with would have been.
I think it's getting late because those things are just not, it's just
yeah. Thank you, Travis.
I don't see that one.
Raina, what were you watching this week?
I actually started watching Beastars season 2 since it just came out on Netflix.
Nice.
I really liked the first season, and it totally had nothing to do with me being a furry.
See, Justin, that's where you played that one. That's
Yeah.
where you play that one. B-Star Season 2. Because that's furry bait.
People actually give it kind of like a bad rap.
Well, I was going to do this.
People kind of give it a bad rap for the art style chosen, but honestly, it's got like a really good mystery going on right now in the background. That's kind of enticing me. The characters all got their kind of like personal issues going on, but in the meantime, there's a murderer running around in the background. They're all trying to find out who it is. Which is pretty interesting. I also started over on Pokemon Sword again because I had it just really wanted to play some Pokemon, and someone at my job stole my 3DS. So, I can't.
Sucks.
So I can't play my older one. So I was like, I'll just start over on that one. So, and that's really about. Oh, I actually finally got my mom to sit down and watch the John Wick movies.
Nice.
She's like not really into action movies, but she just absolutely loved them. I'm like, you cannot dislike John Wick.
No, you cannot dislike Keanu Reeves.
No, so
shut up, Wesley.
Yeah, so I've been mostly packing more than anything, so I've just kind of had stuff playing in the background.
Cool. All right, thank you, Raina. And Justin, what were you watching this week?
I watched the biggest piece of crap of the year, and yes, that is Space Jam. Oh my God!
Your in-chat review during that was hilarious.
This was the biggest, sorriest pile of crap I have seen. This was Ready Player One slapped together with Space Jam.
I thought you were going to say
make it something new. And it looks like a giant fucking mess. Like
Justin, better or worse than Wonder Woman 84?
That's what I was going to ask.
Worse.
Oh,
worse. I was actually able to fall asleep during Wonder Woman, but this one, no, I was so disgusted because I was like, okay, maybe something interesting's going to happen. No stupid gag. No stupid gag. No stupid gag. I was like, at least
expect? It's
Space Jam. Space Jam was better than this shit.
At least Michael Jordan could act, right?
Well, okay, they had Michael Jordan, but it wasn't the Michael Jordan. They had Michael B. Jordan show up.
Well,
they couldn't even get Michael Jordan to show up for this thing. I mean,
they can't afford him anymore.
It's absolutely. It was boring. It was. I mean, Sneaking Mark Green. She had some good acting. I wish she done some of this in Discovery. If she wasn't whiny, she was actually on point. So hopefully that's something to come. We'll see. Yes, I don't know. But yeah, don't. I mean, I would tell you all make up your own choice, but if you're going to watch it, make sure you're medicated or you at least have a strong drink by you because you're going to need it by the time you're done.
I can't stand LeBron James. I don't know if I'll be able to.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
What was actually funny is I saw like the two pictures of the Metacritic review scores next to each other, the Rotten Tomato one, and it was like, man, this movie was shit when this one's getting lower ratings than Michael Jordan.
I mean, they were trying to make it look like Ready Player One because they had so many characters peppered in the background. They had the Mask, they had Scooby Doo, Jetsons, Flintstones,
and they're putting a lot of money into advertising. Like, it's everywhere. And when I went to Dallas, there was actual big fucking billboards
because they know it's stuff. That's why it's everywhere. And they're trying to get people to get those ticket sales in because they know they're going to take a hit because it's horrible. It's predictable. It's boring. It's like you're wanting to fast forward through it just to see if anything interesting happens within the next few seconds. Whenever I start complaining, I was at the 50-minute mark, and I had just started about 15 minutes prior to that, and I'm just like, no, this is this.
If somebody doesn't play basketball soon, I'm going to kill myself.
I'm just like, no, this is bad.
It has an 83% on its audience score.
Yep, and that is the point. That would be my point. Is it's a movie that's terrible, but because we're after a pandemic, it's aimed at kids. People want to get out of their houses. They want to see something cool and big on the big screen. This is all those marks.
Fast and Furious, Black Widow, Godzilla.
This is why I don't give a shit.
Those are not family friendly.
Fast and Furious is all about family.
Yeah, whatever.
Shut up, Greg.
You know what?
What are you watching?
Who were you asking?
Carlos.
Oh, what I'm watching. Okay, so I decided that I wanted to rewatch at least the last few episodes of Stargirl because it is its second season premieres in August. I think August.
Oh, fuck. So many shows review.
And I'm sorry, what was that?
We have so many shows to review in August.
Oh yeah, well, and it reminded me how much I really liked that show. And Justin, were you the one who said that they're planning on sort of mixing it back into the Arrowverse?
Yes, that's what I've heard. Yes.
Yeah. So this was a big Arrowverse week because of Stargirl coming up, and also because of the John Diggle character showing up in Legends,
Flash and Superman and Lois, and Jay Garrick's back with his speeds, and he's supposed to be in Stargirl. So
so I think a couple months ago, I think I was talking about how I was having some real reservations about where the CW was going with the Arrowverse, just because Flash seemed to be losing steam, and because of the pandemic, there was no Crisis this year. Supergirl is ending. Superman and Lois started out almost being in a different universe. Like a very self-contained thing, and yet you see John Diggle appear, so it clearly is set in the Arrowverse. They're not rejecting its place in the Arrowverse, and I think that is a good sign.
what I like about it is that they're not rejecting it, but they're telling their own story. And Flash is kind of doing the same thing. So we didn't know about Diggle, still being Diggle until he popped up. And I mean, it's I like what they did so far.
And they seem to be leading up to him becoming a Green Lantern, so that would be great. Actually,
have they said anything about a Green Lantern show?
They have not. It's an HBO Max show, I think, that they've said, was the last I heard. But I don't know if that's separate from this. We'll have to see. But my point is, there's a reason. There's a behind this rhyme of him appearing in all of these, making the rounds of all of these different CW shows, and that I think bodes well for the character, who's a great, very popular character. He had a good dramatic turn in Superman and Lois, and Superman and Lois this week was amazing.
It looks like your fears were knocked out of the running there after this last episode, because holy shit.
Yeah, they found a way to have this still be a big sort of sci-fi showdown with fights and all of that. And yet the thing that really moves this story forward is that family, real family, F9 fans, not fake ones. The actors they got for to play his Superman's sons are they're knocking it out of the park episode after episode. And it grounds this series in a way that Supergirl is not grounded, Flash is not grounded, Arrow in some ways was not as grounded. This is, and I think, it looks like it's being super successful. So I'm hoping that this becomes a new template for these CW shows. So that was what I was excited about this week.
Awesome. Thank you, Carlos. As for me, I wasn't able to talk about it last week because of GDQ, but I started watching a show called Final Space, a sci-fi animated comedy.
Oh,
That
I
was
know what you're talking about.
I thought you
kind
finished
of you might think of it as an alternate universe or a variant Star Trek 2009.
Oh,
The
What's
main
it called- what's it
character
called again?
is
Final Space.
Final Space.
Final Space.
The main character is something of a rogue who impersonates an officer of the Galactic Rangers to impress a beautiful woman that he meets. Unfortunately, his flirting is interrupted by a call to arms, and he is dressed as a pilot. He tries to fly a ship into action and accidentally blows up a small fleet and a mediocre Mexican restaurant, and is sentenced to a period of service aboard a prison ship where he is the lone living occupant. His only companions are a malfunctioning insanity avoidance bot, the ship's AI, and a small army of SAMEs, service androids that keep the ship up to date. Over the course of his incarceration, he repairs satellites, but eventually comes into contact with a little green blob that he immediately befriends because he's desperate for any and all contact and company. That's when the hijinks ensue. Bounty hunters invade the ship. He is thrown into a wave of drama and galaxy and reality-ending threats. And it culminates in this massive space battle. It is absolutely awesome. There's so much fun character growth, so many tear-jerkingly tragic moments that just left me speechless. And then season 2 happened, and I haven't watched beyond the first episode yet. But I'm definitely going to keep watching it going forward. It's such a fun show, and I highly recommend it.
where's it at again, Ross?
Greg, what'd you say?
Where's
Sorry,
it
hold
at
on.
again?
Answer Justin real quick. Where's it?
Final
it at again?
Space. It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
I
Justin,
think
are
it's
you
also,
ready?
isn't it on Netflix too?
Is it?
I think so. That's what I'm seeing online.
Justin, are you ready?
Okay.
Ross, have you not finished Lucifer?
Oh God.
Ray restarted it. She's watching from the beginning again.
Oh, good God.
It took titanic efforts to keep her from watching Grey's Anatomy from the beginning again. Or worse, Supernatural.
Oh, 10 seasons.
Those are her comfort shows.
Oh.
Hey, people have comfort
fair.
shows.
That's fair,
Yeah.
but finish Lucifer.
We wonder if you're wet.
Look, if they don't ever watch the finale, it never has to end.
There you go.
Well, it's getting a season 6, but it's, yeah.
It's epic.
We're also still going through our watch of Manifest,
which is apparently super popular on Netflix after being
Remember,
canceled.
it's top 5 right now.
Yeah,
it's an incredible show. It's like everything that people wanted WandaVision to be. There's a persistent mystery and all sorts of other mysteries that revolve around it that have kind of splintered off of it, like variant timelines. Some things are being answered, but the main mystery remains a mystery, and we have absolutely no clue what's going on because all of these little mysteries keep our attention and keep moving us towards some sort of buildup that I don't know what's going to happen, but oh my God, it's stressful.
So Lost, but better.
Significantly better. I think I don't know the creator of the show off the top of my head, but they definitely have an idea of where this is actually going to end. Unlike Lost.
And it may not ever happen, unfortunately.
So, hey, before you go, hey, Greg, did you want to have any news you want to share about Family Guy in space?
Orville season 3 finished production. Hopefully, it'll be out next year.
Finally.
Yeah, so that will probably put him out. Let's see, it took him this long to finish production, so we should see it by 2024.
Late next year, hopefully, is what they're looking for.
A studio change, a studio buyout, a pandemic. Yeah, no, Orville's been through some shit.
Yeah, so there'll probably be a little bit before you see him.
I'll watch it. I'm hoping they can, hammer out a few good episodes. Like, it does have its moments. Like, I still really liked the I can't remember what the episode is named, but it's the one where the helmsman kind of develops a relationship with that one
Lasting Impressions.
That's a great episode. I really liked that episode. And
I loved the episodes Identities Part 1 and 2. Those are so good.
But like, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just like it doesn't have enough of these kinds of episodes for me where it just like really blows me away. So I'm hoping, you know, they can do something. Like, I keep hearing that they are doing like some really major changes with this third season, so I'm curious.
Yes, Gabriel Corner is also working on the VFX for this season. But yeah, I've heard the same rumors. It's supposed to be, pleasant surprise. Hopefully,
Like,
so.
I'm not like I don't care for Seth MacFarlane. I straight up don't like him, but I'm not rooting for the Orville to fail. I never have been. It needs more for me.
I mean,
So
I
I'm hoping
enjoy
they
it. I just don't like it whenever people try to say it's Star Trek or anything like that, because it's its own thing and it should be respected as such because it is its own thing. It does rip off other properties, but what show don't? I mean,
you know what? I don't like a lot of Seth MacFarlane projects, but A Million Ways to Die in the West makes me fucking laugh every time.
Yeah.
I love that film to death.
That is one of my favorites too. All right. Thank you all very much. And that brings an end to our show. Thank you guys so much for joining me this week and sharing in all of your thoughts, opinions, and engaging discussion. It is the highlight of my week, and I know it is yours as well, so thank you once again. And to everybody who is still with us, who's endured this cavalcade of geekdom, nerdity, and consternation. Thank you guys so much for watching, either live or in whatever video on demand you prefer, or audio as it is now. Are we on Stitcher yet? And the others?
We will be on Saturday. I think I'll have it up. Yes.
Sweet. So wherever you listen to the Real Super Geeks podcast, be sure to rate, like, subscribe, follow, comment, and all those other fun engagement things so that we can get seen by more people, get more eyeballs, get more ears, get us out there, introduce us to people. We love to have you. Get your voices in on this discussion as well, commenting wherever you find us.
Would you like to feel like a pimp? Well, push us out there. Get us out there. Rake in all that royalty.
Good night.
Bring it home. There you go.
Ross, where can we find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/live_love_play. If you're watching us on Twitch, you're already in the right place. Justin, how about you?
Twitch.tv, Commander Sepper, CMDR, SCPER.
Raina.
Twitch.tv/RainaWolf.
Travis and Lane.
Walking into the lake at 3 a.m. and keep walking in until the bubbles stop.
Greg.
Shut up, Wesley.
Justin, no.
You can find me youtube.com/Mongoose Gaming Burrow.
Son.
I'm at Twitch TV /Sunseal.
And Carlos.
And I'm at axmonitor.com and the Axe Monitor group on Facebook.
All right. Thank you all once again. Son, if you would please.
Remember, you are loved and appreciated by just your being you. And the Department of Truth and Integrity is watching.
And remember to live, to love, and to play a little bit every day. Justin, play us out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
That's Justin. Subvert the expectations.
Good one, Justin.
That was
good. And that concludes our regular show. Stay tuned for for Florida Man, the wacky and weird news from Florida and beyond. For those of you who are taking off tonight, good night. Have a good sleep. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Nighty night, Greg,
Travis,
Travis. See you later.
Travis,
Okay.
have fun.
Justin, copyright. Copyright.
See you guys. Have a good night.
So I do want to make this thing. Like you guys, Justin, you keep like trying to make Travis and Lane like Boimler and Mariner. No, they're Rutherford and Tendy.
Oh, I should have got that one. Oh, what did it get? Damn it.
And Lane is quite literally Tendy.
Oh my God! Yes.
What did I miss?
Oh,
So Justin keeps trying to make it out like Lane and Travis and Lane are Boimler and Mariner. They're not. They're Rutherford and Tendy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Travis is Rutherford and Lane is Tendy.
That's actually perfect. Next
They both
week,
steal for each other.
Next week, I'm going to change his name.
Change whose name?
Travis and Lane, Rutherford and Tandy, and see if he catches on.
Oh, Lord. So I guess I have the first Florida Man story.
Go for it.
Alrighty. Teen Florida man gets bitten by pet water moccasin while trying to kiss it.
What?
Oh my God.
What you fuck?
Okay, so here's the thing. I kind of know snakes living here in the South. Yeah, sure. There's some pretty venomous snakes. Water moccasins are like really fucking up there. Like some of the stuff that's more deadly than a water moccasin is literally baby copperheads.
Okay, I want to know how stupid you gotta be to pick up a water moccasin. I mean,
I have a Florida Man story about how stupid you have to be to pick up something dangerous.
Well, see, here's the thing, Justin. See, it's Florida. Florida literally had that whole pastor guy who was a snake dude. Like he was the guy who was literally literally getting himself bit to show that he was like blessed by God or something, and then wind up dying from one of them like a dumbass.
sounds like Kentuckian.
Well,
So here's another Florida Man / dangerous animal story. Florida man arrested for trying to throw alligator on roof of cocktail bar in order to teach it a lesson, apparently.
What lesson?
Who knows? He grabbed it by the tail and started like smacking it around on the ground, and then tried to they had a natural wrestling match between the two of them. He slammed the gator on the ground by its tail and then tried to throw it up onto the roof of this bar.
when the fuck did we get to Flintstones level shit?
I have no idea. That's Oh, it was at a mini golf course.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's even more hilarious.
What was he trying to do? Get a hole?
He's trying to teach it a lesson.
I guess it was blocking the windmill.
Maybe.
That doesn't teach it a lesson. That just pisses him off.
No, it doesn't. Literally, the dude was wailing on the thing by the gator's tail. That's going to cause some damage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something. And there's a lot. This story got a lot of coverage.
Oh, yeah, no, there's
a lot.
Like the Twitter feed is like 6 or 7 different stories of this story.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it made the biggies. It made the networks. It made Daily Beast.
Yeah, because I just thought.
And to add to the Florida madness of all of this shit, the Florida man had the nickname Bubba because of course he did.
Oh, shut up! This just keeps getting better. Oh my God,
man! His name was Bubba.
William Bubba Hodge.
Of course it
Oh,
is.
fuck.
It's all over the Reddit too. Just everywhere.
Oh, Bubba.
You found that really fast.
Did you mention that he stole the alligator?
Yeah, it just keeps getting better.
From a mini golf course.
This is the most Florida man story ever at this point.
It pretty much is.
I mean, that deserves.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
So did you find
he's
one
shirtless
yet?
in his mugshot.
Yeah, he is. Did you find one yet, Ross?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
Florida man throws rocks at a dump truck for driving on his grass.
Okay. That seems pretty tame.
Compared to what we just talked about? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anything can top that one. Beating a gator up with his own tail.
Oh, I've got one.
Oh, shit.
Urologist sued for tipping up a Florida man's penis. Apparently, this guy had a downward curving instrument and sought help from this institute that apparently it's a urology institute in Oxford, Florida, and in order to correct the downward curve, and apparently he overcorrected. And producing a tipping up results as well as failing to recognize the overcorrection, and so they're getting sued. And apparently, you have to dig down into the story to find this out, and it's not just the overcorrection. Can I finish, please? He somehow also made it shorter. So that was also distressing to this poor guy. So there you go,
Carlos. Yes,
shorter. I'm quoting the article.
Yeah, the article itself is using puns, Carlos.
Yeah.
Florida man, a few inches shorter.
But this is just proof that the pendulum swings both ways.
Yeah.
See, there we go. I got Justin. Justin.
I will never look at the phrase tipping up the same way again.
Oh, God.
I wonder what the medical term for cow tipping would be.
Well, what would the term be? Was it penis tipping?
I have no clue.
Nipping at the penis?
Yeah, this is
penis tips.
This is not my area of expertise.
So I have something to kind of play off of Ross's headline with the rocks in the dump truck. Florida woman ticketed by cops over $100,000 for parking on her own property. What? And this is because the city in which she lives is continuously finding her day after day after day for the 4 vehicles that her family owns collectively, and because 2 of those vehicles have tires in the grass on her own fucking lawn, and she was being charged $250 a day for it.
Florida woman. Florida sucks.
Well, so here's the thing. She's quite literally suing the city over this, and she's winning.
Yeah,
well, that's good.
Cool.
Because even if these are fines, like the fact that like some of this shit is like she literally called the inspectors to come out and they never did. So like that's literally on the city at that point.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I can understand the guy literally throwing rocks at a dump truck for tires on his lawn if he's going to get fined $250 a day for shit like that.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's a different one. Florida man steals $430 worth of meats at Walmart. Stopped by police. Still at large. Winter Haven, Florida. Police are searching for a man who went on a protein-packed shopping spree at Walmart, but failed to pay. On July 9, 2021, around 3 p.m., the suspect pictured below went into a Walmart at 7450 Cypress Gardens Boulevard in Winter Haven and proceeded to the meat department. Winter Haven in Florida? Oh, Haven from Winter. Okay, that works.
Yes.
Police say pilling his cart full of more than $430 worth of meat. He promptly heads to the exit, going nowhere near the registers. Investigators say the man was seen leaving what appears to be a black Chevy Camaro. If you recognize this man, please contact Detective Al-Shair. Florida man.
Well, I have another Florida man penis story.
What is it with you?
I don't know. It's Google's algorithm. I don't know what it means.
It's Google's algorithm, and it's Carlos, folks. Come on.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
There's a catalog of images.
Yes, a Florida man is actually accused. Yeah, is actually accused of hiding crystal meth inside the folds of his penis. Four white crystal rocks.
Okay. So one thing I gotta say about this, that Florida man,
you are made of stupid.
I guess that's one reason to be uncut, right?
I suppose so.
Carlos, I think he's broken Ross.
Ross. Oh, good. Sorry, I think I'm probably done with Florida man stories for tonight. I can't top 2 penis stories in a row.
I'll be honest. After that, my stamina would be pretty exhausting too.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's just why would you use it? Why?
Well, he was being booked into jail for cocaine possession, and apparently, wanted to sell this meth inside the jail. So,
I mean, that just makes every part of me just like hurt and pain and just go.
Oh! I forgot the best part, you guys. The guy's name.
The better part.
Yes, the guy is named Shaft Bang Adams. This stuff writes itself.
This is the fucking week for Florida man stories. Holy shit.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Wow.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind.
Okay, so here's another one that involves a snake, but not that kind of snake.
Thank God. I don't think I can take snake.
Florida man named Dusty the Wildman Crumb and his team of snake wranglers lead Florida's 2021 Python Challenge with a 16-foot Burmese python beast.
Hello. Florida man. Oh.
Okay, so here's I see your snake and raise you another penis.
Oh my God!
There is a Florida man story Snakes and shutters. Man bitten on penis by escaped snake in his toilet.
Snake in the toilet.
Man, we did that last week.
So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, I shared that one.
So here's one. Do you have one, Ross?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Florida man city council member outed as fugitive from justice in kidnapping, aggravated robbery, extortion, and assault.
Okay.
Bazinga.
I mean, how is that any different from just about any other politician?
He got caught.
How is that any different than any other politician?
Most don't get caught.
He got caught.
Wow.
And let's see.
So a dumbass Florida man.
I mean, we literally had a congressman named Anthony Weiner sending dick pics to people.
And the ongoing investigations on Matt Gaetz.
Yes, of course. Okay, I have one more Florida man penis story.
Oh my God, Carlos!
We may have covered this before. I'm not sure.
Are you this thirsty?
I'm just saying.
I'm sure we get Elaine to come back.
Florida man masturbates with pickle on private property.
Bye. Have a great time.
Then there was the Florida man who apparently someone questioned his penis size, so he pulled a gun on them. I will stop now. Enough.
Quit
Enough
playing
penises.
with your dinghy.
Okay, here's a better one. Florida man opens bar where you get a free shot served in a bong if your name is Dawn, D-O-N, Dawn, D-A-W-N, or Donna.
Well, that's kind of nice, right? Donna Bong.
Free bong shot. Probably not good stuff, though.
Florida man takes touristy dolphin tour on a river of dead fish during a toxic red tide.
Jesus Christ.
Toxic red tide. Yo, that's just smart.
Oh,
I mean, it's free food, right? Just stick a net out and collect all the fucking fish, right?
Here we
Florida
go.
man.
Here's a creative Florida man. Florida man brings AR-15 to a crowded beach, telling cops he's just going fishing.
Very efficient. Very efficient.
That's the wasted sound from GTA.
Yeah, like I said, bringing the loaded gun to a beach full of cops. Yeah, that's just smart.
All right. Well, I'm tapped out. So, of Florida man stories.
Oh,
you have another one?
Oh, I don't know if I should. Okay,
Go for it.
I read the one headline, then I opened it and read like the actual news headline, and it's like, oh, I don't know if we should even mention this one.
Go for it.
Okay, so the Twitter headline is Florida man loves strippers and drink instead of his children.
Oh.
I opened the link, and the news article literally says, report, man left child in hot car while he drank inside Pensacola Gentlemen's Club.
Oh, God.
That doesn't sound like a gentleman to me.
It doesn't sound like a very Florida man-y Florida thing. That's just a dickhead that doesn't just... That's... People that leave kids in their cars, they're fucking idiots. You know better. There's
Especially
no reason
if you're going
for
to a
it.
place where you're going to be there for a while.
Why?
Because, yeah, they don't care.
Okay, I
Florida.
found a better one.
Thank you.
Florida man gets jollies blasting lobby with fire extinguisher spray.
Jollies.
All right, I've got a nice one.
Florida man.
A 97-year-old Florida man, Navy veteran, wanted to be buried in his uniform. A seamstress put the final touches on his dream.
Aww. That's
Finally, finally a good-hearted Florida man.
Florida woman.
Well,
Florida seamstress.
there was the Florida man who won the lottery and started sharing his winnings. So that's something. That's something.
That's good.
He must be a transplant from out Florida, around state.
Okay, so here's one. Florida man shoots at neighbor for not finishing pool job. Florida man's name, Gunsby.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That taps me out as well.
Yep. I think that's a good note to end on before we all start going.
Yeah, we're going on 4 hours. Please, Justin, for the love of God, cut this episode into pieces. Otherwise, no one's going to watch it. Or listen to it.
I'm going to have to fix it before it goes up on Spotify because there ain't no way.
Yeah,
I'm doing a 4-hour episode.
I would at the very least separate the pre-show from the show.
Separate the pre-show. Separate Florida Man. Make them their own separate things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going to have to see that little that's what we are watching turn into a mini rant.
That happens.
That happens.
Yep. Alrighty, well, let's end this.
Just watch though. It turns out whatever the hell I'll be watching for next week is literally going to happen either this morning or later this afternoon. It never fucking fails. It never fucking fails.
That's usually the way it is for me because I'll watch something in the morning and then I'll game the rest of the damn week. And we're like, yep, I just watch either or watch what we talk about next week, which I'm going to have to find something to replace Loki with. I'll figure something out.
You've already found it. It's called Deep Rock Galactic on twitch.tv/Commander Sepper.
Yes. Mostly every weekend, but we'll see.
No, my point is just like literally we do the show on a Friday and then Saturday is literally whatever the hell I'll be watching for the next week. And it's like,
Me stream.
Why?
Me stream. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, everybody, that's been fun. I'm going to play us out.
That concludes Florida Man. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you all next week with more crazy stories from Florida and beyond.
And beyond.
And remember, spay and neuter your plushies. And son?
Son already did it.
The Department of Truth and Integrity is always watching.
There we go.